You're not a very well established YouTuber, father. You need to partner with the Japanese and the Chinese.
I'll never partner with the Japanese.
It's
the
up
Chinese.
to what the boss has to say.
Hey, here comes the boss. Hey
Oh
there,
my God.
YouTube land. That's the opening of this little movie we just watched. It's called
It's Samurai Cop.
Samurai Cop.
I only meant to watch a couple minutes. But it was so baffling that we had to sit through the full thing.
It's
Oh,
their,
man.
it starred Matt Hannon, who has to change his name.
Yeah, that's confusing when we found out there was a sequel.
Well, let's get to that later. And it also stars Robert Z'Dar.
Yeah, that one's cool.
And people. A porn actress, who's the love interest in the film.
Yeah, she is. Super cute.
One of the love interests.
Yeah. My favorite of the love interests is the nurse.
I gotta ask you something about this movie.
Yeah?
Did you like what you saw?
Yes.
You want to see more?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna go get my tea. Matt here is gonna take over this bargain basement movie review and
Fucking...
Samurai Cop. So, I guess give them the story.
That's gonna be hard. Alright, so... The movie starts incredibly abruptly, explaining with the brief and confusing explanation of there's a gang, a renegade gang of people called the Katana Gang. They do some sort of crime. It's never really established. Something to do with drugs.
They sell the drug.
They sell the drug. They're hardcore into selling the drug. We see a single crime that they commit. Well, alright, they shoot a lot of people. But that's generally because Samurai's an asshole. But, basically, they do some crime stuff. We then get introduced, and by introduced, I mean they just show up. Samurai and Frank, I think his name's Frank Washington? Yeah, Samurai and Frank.
Washington.
Samurai and Frank Washington. The shittiest names for people I've ever heard. But, they come in, they kill a bunch of people, they run over a guy, one of the most hilarious, running over anyone scenes I've ever seen in my life. And then then it's revealed that this guy, this long-haired, sometimes wearing a wig, because apparently he cut his hair, near the end of production when they said it'd be done, and then they had to do a shit ton of reshoots, so you can clearly see he's wearing a wig half the time. This one guy named Joe Marshall. Apparently, he comes from, I think it's San Diego or something like that. He comes from San Diego, which is a place you never hear in any, cop movie ever. He knows fluent Japanese and is trained under the martial arts masters of Japan. So, he's known as Samurai. The first time we, really see him do anything is literally him talking to Frank Washington, being like, now, I'm killing a bunch of people. And the chief's all gonna be like, oh, you're bringing people lacking body bags, everybody's dead, but who cares about the chief? This is our protagonist. He kills people haphazardly and doesn't give a shit about it.
Not only does he do that, but he just had sex with us.
Yeah, there's a scene, at the end of the scene, where they, take out this guy, everybody.
No, he takes out nobody, dude.
Peggy, the female cop, radios in. They're not in their car, so they're not hearing a damn thing. They're just standing in the middle of a field. Yeah, she's in a helicopter, and she radios down to nothing and goes, good job, guys, whatever, I forget what she says. And he's like, yeah, see you at home. He's not saying it into the fucking thing. He just says it aloud in the middle of the field and points up. And then they're it's suddenly, with not even a split, second, there's no, second cutaway thing. It's just, instantly there's a sex scene happening. It awkwardly and inaccurately happens for about, 2 minutes. And then we go back to him saying that shit.
Sex.
Yeah.
He sell the drug and he have the sex.
That's this movie. And then we go back to him going to, talking about how he's going to kill people. Basically tells Peggy, the female cop, to shut her mouth as he, flirts with another girl and talks about how crazy other girls are. Then they meet the chief, the best character I've ever seen in anything. He's the most absolutely intense and like weirdly homoerotically oppressed guy I've ever met. He says like some of the most like awkward lines. How does it feel, Chief? Feels like there's a club in my ass, and it hurts, and I want to get it out.
It's like this.
That's too much information, sir.
It's like they took like the most homoerotic scenes from Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
Yeah.
And just encapsulized them into
And,
this
like,
one character.
He's so aggressive too. There's one part where like Frank Washington kisses him on the head for no fucking reason. And he like before he's doing this, he kisses him on the head, and his reaction is like, "You get back here, you motherfucker! I'm gonna take you out! How dare you do that!" And then he like moves back for a second. He's like,
Those guys.
That's him. That's him in a nutshell. And, like, there's a scene later on where the lawyer Fujikawa, I mean, or something like that.
Fujiyama.
Fujiyama, the main bad guy, comes in, and he like Maniac Cop, or sorry, that's Robert Z'Dar.
The late Robert Z'Dar.
Maniac Cop, Robert Z'Dar, and Fuji are sitting down at a table, just chilling, when for no reason, Samurai Cop and Frank Washington come in and say, "Hey, you're all pieces of shit." And the lawyer's like, "Okay, so like there's gonna be crazy lawsuits now," and he's like, "Oh no, there won't be." And he's like, "You have literally no evidence on any of our people," and he's like, "Oh yeah, I do." And they're like, "No, you don't though," and he's like, "Yeah, I do." And let me tell you, we respect Japanese businessmen in America, but you guys are trash, and I'm gonna cut you up and send you back in garbage bags to Japan. And like, that's the biggest lawsuit I've ever seen.
But speaking of catching up, I've got to get at this. So, after this big fight where everybody's taken out, there's one guy that's left in a hilarious burning sequence.
Oh yeah.
And he's put in the hospital. So, it doesn't look like he's burned up that bad, but...
No, he's not burned at all. In fact,
we
we see his face look up at them, and it's perfectly fine. His
back
was on
burned,
fire.
So he can't talk because his lips are burned. So he's got this like, huge freaking thing. Like, I don't know, like a kindergartner came in and wrapped his face up. Because nobody else would do that.
Just to establish that he's in pain the entire time he's in bed going, "Oh, oh."
It's almost as bad that scene in Halloween 2 where the ambulance drivers like, fuck, 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 fuck. You know, it's hilarious like that.
God.
Oh, so the nurse, like the bad girl comes in, who you will see naked later, by the way.
And then never again for half the film.
And she's just like pushing this cart with a plastic garbage can in it. And she's like, "I'm going to change the garbage."
Which I guess by that you meant the whole can.
Because, yeah, and she gets in there and she takes out the blanket right by the garbage can. Because I don't know why it's actually needed. She could have said, you know, "I'm going to change the sheets, I'm going to change the bedpan," and just like push this thing in. But no, she had to have a used plastic garbage can and a white sheet over that. Because Robert Z'Dar, he's right, like hunched down by the garbage can with a sword.
He pops out with a sword, and he's supposed to, as explained by Fuge earlier, "I want his head cut off. I want his head cut off and put on my piano because I want everyone to know that if they get caught alive or talk, then they're not cool with the katanas." So he comes out with the sword, puts it to the guy's throat, and then goes...
like 3 or 4 times.
And then he picks up the head like it was nothing, slaps it in a plastic bag, and puts it in the trash.
Yeah, at no point does he like push out extra effort or cut the head off or like or type thing and use that. No, it's butter knifing the head. Like, you know, I don't better make sure to really cut this guy.
I need a fine piece of steak. It was...
That was a great scene. That was a great scene.
That was an amazing scene. It's hard to like do a coherent like scene by scene review of this.
Because this is not a coherent.
No, not at all. Like what I was gonna say with the lawyer thing, after they like assault this guy, say they're gonna kill them, and then laugh at their face. Literally, he goes to the chief and he's like, "I'm gonna like have your badge, guys. Like you guys are saying some crazy stuff." He's threatened to kill them. His reaction is, "Now you know what? You're right. but I don't care. Fuck you. I'm gonna see you in fucking hell. Get a job. And I'm like,
Cut your hair.
yeah. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Oh, hilarious.
Calm down.
Now, after
Chief?
you walk out from that place, by the way, because we got to get into this. part,
Yeah.
For some reason, after they're, fine, on the legal standpoint, because, cops just threatened them, Robert De Niro's character gets up and proceeds to bring in
Like,
disposable henchmen 1, 2, 3, and 4, I guess, and just, pretty much, rounds them out. They'll, go.
Then he pulls a freaking Uzi out and starts shooting everyone. Which,
Somewhere.
by the way, later on in the film, they're like, I can't believe we don't have any evidence on them. I think that was fairly good evidence. Because I don't remember any laws that say you can pop out an Uzi and start killing people.
See, but I think one of the reasons that they aren't able to get any really good evidence is because when he handcuffed the people, he only handcuffed one of their arms, and then they just
You
walk
know what
away.
I think it is? I am almost...
It's the honor system.
I am almost certain now that they were supposed to handcuff both things, but someone lost the key.
Yeah.
Somewhere during, they lost the key. So,
One-
like, you cannot, like, if we handcuff them together, we're going to have to break the handcuffs.
Well, we
So-
only have one pair of handcuffs right now.
We only got one pair of handcuffs, so just handcuff them on, like, one hand, and then just don't do the other one, or no one's getting out.
That's a solid idea.
That's what most of this film is. Like, they filmed entirely during the day because they didn't have the lights for the night.
Yeah.
They did everything in almost one cut, and then, like, had to redub the stuff. Oh my god.
And they're on some kind of thing where they pretend, like, Robert De Niro's character at least pretends that he's Bushido, like he's like some kind of samurai ninja type thing.
By the
He's
way,
the worst. There's scene, you can't see it in the background because there's a little bit of glare there from the light there. But the girl, that's one of the
that's
cops.
Peggy, the female cop.
the slutty cop. And she's like there, and so the three guys are just like staring right in the window, like literally. There's none of this, like they're not being covert, nothing like that. She's like looking at.
They
their
just kind
cutlery.
of pop up in the window.
They're like
and are
this. They're like, yeah. I wonder if she sees us. No, she doesn't, because nobody sees anybody in this movie.
All right.
Perspective.
So we have to talk about the best scene now. Probably.
What, when his
Did
hand
you-
falls off? When
No.
an arm goes off? Which one of these best things are we talking about?
Do you like what you see?
Yeah, there's...
The nurse.
He hits on everyone. And
It's like watching two robots, like, meet and try and simulate what they think humans do.
But this scene makes no sense. This would make sense if she was like the lead actress, or
Yeah.
she was the one who was going to give him a run for his money type thing.
But
Well,
she
look,
only
she
appears.
doesn't.
She only appears once. He's gone now. She only appears once. This, like, film has a problem with, like, just sudden jumps, but it also has this weird problem with run-on, like... Remember the thing I just mentioned there a couple seconds ago? The, like, feels like a club, it's in my ass, and it hurts.
I gotta get
And
that.
I gotta get it out. Like, nobody needs the club in my ass part. You've made your point. And that's what half this film is. Like, if it doesn't jump to something unexplained, it'll just go on with something.
It has
He
diarrhea
hits
at the
on,
mouth.
yeah, he hits on the nurse. And the way that it works is, like, they go out. She goes, do you like what you see? And he goes, yes.
By the go out, it doesn't mean to go on a date. It means to just go out to the hallway.
Yeah, they're going out into the hallway. Do you like what you see? Yeah. Sorry, in order to differentiate this, I'll do you like what you see? Yeah. Would you like to touch what you see? Yeah. Or sorry, yeah. Would you like to fuck me? Bingo.
It does say that.
Were you circumcised? Yeah. Like,
this
there's a
point, she
couple
grabs
other... I
his
just skipped a
penis.
bunch because there's like about 2 minutes where he talks about the size of his penis.
Yeah.
And
It's
she's
not
like,
big
were
enough
you
for it."
circumcised? And he's like,
Like,
yeah.
what do you need down there, jumbo jet?
Yeah, what do you need that? And she's like, I think that the doctor took off too much. And his reaction, no, not a good doctor. He's a good doctor. Even good doctors can make mistakes.
That's why they have
Yeah,
insurance.
Yeah, that's why they have insurance. And then she, like, walks away, and he's like, why was that there? Why was that scene? She wasn't a character. We don't even see her nude, so I don't even understand why you put her in there. Because, like, half the girls in this are just to see nude. Like, Peggy, the girl cop.
Yeah.
Literally her name. Nude. The main love interest, nude, fucking the ginger, just fucking.
I was waiting all movie to see her nude for which camp that was good.
I knew she was gonna be nude. A random girl with the older like guy,
Yeah, oh,
like
his
OG.
wife?
Yeah, no, not her. That was weird. But like, remember like the other? I forget his name. Like OG.
Oh my god.
Ojikawa, I think his name was.
Ojikawa, yeah.
Yeah, Ojikawa, the like the bald older henchman.
He looked like he was like a refugee from Hawaii 5 hours.
Yeah, and you get to see her vaguely naked, but mostly you just get to see him in like a
And
speedo.
that's okay.
Which,
We'll also
in the
see
funniest-
Samurai Cop in the speedo.
That's true, a lot.
ladies
Like
in there.
it's not fun. Like and he's not wearing like a normal like speedo either. It's like weird. It's like it's kind of cropped up, so it's like
Yeah.
it's almost like a legitimate like pair bikini. It's you also get to see him in a wig though, so that's fun.
Big fall off. And then they keep going.
There's also a scene, and I know at this point we're just literally reviewing like individual scenes because that's what this film is: individual scenes poorly
If
strung
this
together.
seems like an incoherent mess, you should see the film.
Yeah,
This
there's a
is-
scene like the henchman scenes, like when they interrogate Frank Washington.
Oh,
the way
Frank
that they
Washington has this thing.
During that scene,
You know,
the
The-
do you like what you see? Yeah. Would you like to touch what you see? Yeah. Would you? Yeah.
He's
just
doing this
like
all the
he
time.
just goes back to him and he's like, it doesn't make any sense. But there's a scene when he's being interrogated, and the way that they threaten him, like they threatened the previous guy by killing his wife.
Yeah.
They threaten him. They grab his penis, and they say,
Okay, got tricked, yeah.
"You can't. If you don't tell me where Samurai Cop lives, I'll cut off your gift, your black gift." And I'm like, "What the fuck?" One, that's vaguely.
No dude ever called them no dudes.
It's
Junk
vaguely
is
like
gift.
weird. That's a weird comment in general, and two, like you're holding his penis and like saying your gift, your black gift.
My precious.
I have a feeling he's gonna keep it afterwards too.
Yeah.
You'll
Yeah.
never be able to have your black gift.
But it'll
It's-
be on my dresser.
It was so like everything about that. There's a lot of weirdly homoerotic like, tendencies in this film.
Yeah.
Like, and it's weird for a film with so many naked women in it. But like, also,
It
like,
makes no sense. And Samurai Cop,
Nothing.
he doesn't kill. Like he doesn't get many people at all. The other guy, his partner, kills a bunch of people.
almost everyone.
Shooting almost everybody in the
One of the
film.
funniest things, it happens twice. Someone comes up with a sword,
Yeah.
and Samurai's like, "Don't worry, I got this." And then Frank just pulls out a gun and shoots the guy.
He's like that's the cool.
And like, it's not even
fuck
one of
that,
those
man.
like, hey, I could have taken him. Like he just kind of looks back and is like, I feel like there's a look of like, yeah, I was fucked. I don't know what I was trying to do.
Yeah, fuck your kung fu.
But like, after all this stuff happens and the interrogation stuff happens and a lot of incoherent stuff in the middle, the chief calls them in again, and he's like, "I should have your fucking badges for this. You know, like, there's so much shit all up my ass. Like, I lost my pension. Now, my future is ruined because of you. But you know what? I don't give a fuck about any of that. I just want you to kill Fujiyawa. Or fucking, I forgot his name again.
Yeah, Fujiyama.
Fujiyama. When you kill Fujiyama, when you kill all his men, I want you to burn down their house to make sure no one survives. And then, all three of us are going to hand in our badges. And we're going to lose it all. Our jobs will be ruined.
He says
And again, Samurai
it's
is
like a cult leader.
yeah, and Samurai's like, now you're talking. And Frank's like,
Have some of this purple Kool-Aid
yeah.
too.
And
It's really
Frank's,
good.
Frank's all like, yeah. And that's what they proceed to do. There's no
the
like,
burning. The burning that costs
There's
way
no
too much
burning.
to burn down a house. Trust me on that one.
They just kill a bunch of people. Like, they kill They actually kill. Sorry, Frank kills the main bad guy, Fujiyama.
Like this.
Like, just
Pretty
shoot,
much.
he just shoots him.
Bang, bang.
And Samurai doesn't do shit. Like, to almost anyone.
He puts in his gun. It's like,
He puts down his gun. He's like, he's not stupid.
this
He's
is a
not gonna-
brilliant scene where Fujiyama grabs the love interest.
Yeah.
And he's got like a gun to her. And so Samurai Cop is right in front. And he's like, put down your gun, Samurai Cop, or I'm going to blow her head away.
This
Now-
is how he's moving forward with her. And he steps.
Frank is on the stairs. And he's
he
like,
doesn't know. Like,
perfect vantage point.
Fuj doesn't know that he's there. And he steps out with the gun. He's like, I'm gonna get you, Samurai. Like, you can't do anything. I'm gonna shoot her if you don't put your gun down. And he's standing on the stairs. He's like, yeah, don't. Sorry, that's my Samurai Cop. He's like, yeah, don't do nothing. And he steps back and he's like, no, I guess not. And then he moves down from the stairs and gets in front again. So he no longer has his vantage point or the element of surprise.
No.
He just gave up everything.
And it happens again, like, randomly. Robert Zdars's character, I can't remember this character's name now, but he's like, there's this guy behind him,
He
like
has
this
a name.
henchman. Yeah, and he's like,
I don't know what it is.
so okay, let's split up. And what split up means is, hey, you, walk right behind me to the right of me a little bit,
Also-
and shoot in my direction.
Yeah, if you
at other
look,
people.
like, well, he's shooting up here like this. The other guy's back there like,
Literally.
it's it's baffling. In the end,
I love this fucking movie.
in the end, Robert Zadar is like, well, in one of the first like sane lines in the movie, he's like, "You're a samurai. You've not wielded a sword this entire film. Let's see how good you are with the sword."
Not very good.
Not at all. Neither of them. Some of the times you see them do this, and like one's up here, the other one's down here, and they just stop.
It
They're
looks
not
like-
connecting.
Yeah, it looks like if you had like got two kids like in the backyard, you gave them like some paper towels. Well, else they do a better job than
It
what
was
these two guys.
insane. I've done better jobs than that in the friggin' Toys R Us parking lot. Friggin'. It ends with him about to, like, they mentioned Bushido at the very last second, which, fine. There's some inaccuracies there already, but he's like, you gotta cut my head right off. Just do it. And then Frank's like, no, Samurai, you're a cop.
Well, yeah,
What?
yeah. One,
You just
you
killed
guys,
like 50 people.
you guys are all quitting.
You're all quitting. You all decided collectively, kill everyone. No one survives.
But this guy,
What? This guy?
Let's
No.
kill him.
You gotta remember, you're a cop, samurai, and so he doesn't kill him, but they step over to the side. He pulls a huge hunting knife out of his boot, out of nowhere. And then he's like he starts to cut open his stomach. We don't really see it, but like Frank's like, whoa, what's he doing?
it's implied.
And Samurai's like, no, he's gonna kill himself. It's cool. Don't worry
Yeah.
about it.
Vegeta, do you want to die with honor? And I'm like,
Yeah.
no honor after being in this.
Yeah,
No,
there's nothing-
sorry, no honor left. Too late.
And then we suddenly go back to a scene we saw earlier, but with this like a semi-sex scene added on again. Like,
But it's not. We just see him kiss her neck and then.
yeah, he kisses her neck and then it ends. Like, it's a similar scene from
Here's-
earlier, but they just extend it to a neck kissing.
So we're like about 20 minutes in this movie, and I'm seeing all this stuff, and I look over at Matthew and I say, what would be awesome if Tommy Wiseau was in this movie?
'Cause they've
If
got
the
the-
guy from The Room was in this movie, that would be totally awesome. These are two of the worst actors in the world, and it will be amazing to see them together. So we finish the movie and we go to IMDb. As we're checking out the people's names on there, see what else they did. What's the first thing we find out, Matthew?
There's a sequel,
Coming out this year.
and guess who's in it?
Post-production.
Guess who's in it, other than the entirety of the original cast?
Yeah, except for Robert Zdarsky, because he's passed on.
Yeah. And also his character died.
Yeah.
Also, so did Fuge, though.
But
and
he's
I
back.
see you're back, man. But he's in it. Tommy Wiseau is in it, playing a character called Linton, apparently.
This is epicness. This, I'm going to watch this movie. I now
Prepare.
want to own Samurai Cop on Blu-ray. Do you want no Samurai Cop on Blu-ray?
Yeah, no, it's really fun.
I so want on this
I
movie.
guess prepare for a follow-up to this review. So they didn't say when it was released in 2015, but
Uh,
sometime this year.
And it's in
you'll
post-production
see,
right now, apparently, from IMDb.
Okay.
So, yeah, definitely, we are going to be...
So half the
hunting
film's
this down.
being made now, then, is what I'm hearing.
Just-
Um,
It's being directed by somebody else. I hope there's
it's also being written and produced by the same guy, so...
I want them to keep the spirit of the original film, the absolute clumsy amateur ineptness that makes this such the fun movie that it is. Because although we are tearing this movie apart, there was
crazy fun.
not a boring scene. We were laughing our ass off almost the entire movie.
For the first, 30 minutes, I couldn't stop laughing. Like,
This one, blah, 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 blah,
blah.
blah, blah, blah.
There's a scene where someone does that. The chief at one point says, you guys didn't bring anyone back alive, but he says, you guys didn't bring anybody alive. And I'm like,
He's
what,
clearly
sir?
stubbed his lines, but he's just going to go with it. One take.
Yeah,
That's what you get. It's a one-take movie, guys.
Oh my god. So bad.
Now, but the thing, anyway, I want them to keep that one-take aspect to it, the whole kind of off-the-cuff.
I need the chief back. I need the chief back.
Is he back? He's
I
not, is
didn't see.
he? Yeah.
I hope so. He's probably older now, though.
Yeah. if it's-
That was only made in 91, though.
Yeah.
That looks like a 70s production, by the way.
No, it looks 80s, though. I mean, it looks very 80s, the hair and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the main Fujiyama, he literally has that,
He's like a mullet.
yeah,
He's a mullet and a mustache.
he's got business in the, in the front, party in the back.
There's no party to be had here.
There's nothing to be had between there.
So,
what would you rate Samurai Cop?
how do
On the
you
bad-
rate something
We're
like
going to
this?
rate it on the bad movie scale. Basically, on the bad movie scale, this is the bad movie scale. So basically, when you think about great movies like Citizen Kane and whatever movie you like,
50 First Dates with Adam Sandler.
yeah, whatever movie you like, basically you get a 1 out of 10 type of thing. And this movie's awesome. If you like Forrest Gump, I'm not a really big fan, but
I hate Forrest Gump.
it's life is like a box of chocolates.
That
You
movie
never
could
know
have
what
much
you're gonna get.
been much better
Shorter?
established if it started with suddenly we are not yet established as a gang. Oh god. I guess I'd have to give this thing a 9. A 9 Peggy the Girl Cops. Peggy the Girl Cop. That's not a nickname, by the way. They call her that in the film. Out of 10, because
Well,
it's so fun.
I have to give this, because this has not been mentioned,
Yeah.
a 10. Decapitated, creepy Carly Lionheads
Oh yeah,
out of 10. And
most distracting set piece I've ever seen.
literally have, when people have deers and all this stuff, creepy untouchable people have on their, in their dens and stuff. Well, she has a stuffed lion. I don't mean a stuffed lion as in an actual lion, but I mean if you cut the head off of a toy lion
Really
from
large.
a Walmart's stuffed toy section and shoved it on your wall,
It's so distracting.
and it's there.
They might as well have just had Christopher Walken put his face on the wall. It would have been less distracting than this odd freaking lion thing that's taking up a full scene of just confusion.
I need to see the sequel of this movie.
God, it's gonna be
I have
so
a
good.
prescription, and it's for more Samurai Cop.
Deadly Vengeance coming sometime in 2015.
Yeah, you
The
there?
Cinema Epoch, apparently.
You gotta watch that movie. And for me right now, well, I'm gonna top up my tea because it's gotten cold, and I need to get more tea. So it's time for me to get my tea. Time for tea. Time for me. Right on. Samurai Cop style. Fix it. All right, motherfucker. Like it's on my ass.
I guess that would mean it's time for a stinger for
It
me. But hey, wait a minute! Hey, wait right there! Hey, wait, stop!
Apparently.
Yeah, all right.
Just got-
I know this is my stinger, but I'm gonna explain it just to give you a thing. Apparently, midway through, he couldn't he couldn't even fucking get sound. Like,
Yeah.
some of these scenes were just taken entirely without sound.
Yeah, the sound's
could
done
get-
afterwards.
Like, Robert Kazarian and fucking, like, Matt Hannon / Matthew Carradez to, like, redo their lines, but he couldn't get bit actors to come back and redo their lines. So he literally just did
All
the
the lines.
voices again with a slightly altered thing. And there's one scene where 3 absolutely different people,
Different colors.
like
too, by the
different,
way.
like different
Races.
sizes, ages, colors. I
Races.
think one of them's a girl.
Yeah.
Like, run in, and they're like, it's all, hey, what are you doing here? Hey, stop. Hey, what's going on? And I'm like the first time I was like, what type of voice is that? And then we hear it again. And I'm like, no way. And 2 more people come up and do the same thing, and it's the fucking best. You've, like a mere something. You've given us untold joys today.
You have not lived until you have seen Samurai Cop.
Oh, he's not even a fucking samurai.
That's his name, though. That's his name. That's what he calls him. He's from San Diego. They brought him down to clean up the streets. And his nickname is Samurai because
He
he's
speaks
fluent in
fluent
Japanese. He never
Japanese.
speaks any Japanese. And any type of Japanese-style words that he speaks, he fucks them up.
In fact, like when he
Fucks up their names.
the moment
It's
that
really
he's,
racist.
the moment after he says like he's fluent in Japanese and like trained under all the masters of Japan, it shows him there being like, so I heard some like Ujagawa or fucking whatever his name, literally what he says, guy is after me, so I'm like, I'm gonna have to kill a bunch of people. He
Yeah.
can't even get the fucking name right. Jesus Christ.
You gotta see it.
Also, I think Robert Kazarian's character is supposed to be Japanese.
Robert Zadar.
Or Robert Zedar.
Robert Kazarian.
Wait.
Kazarian. Kazarian's a wrestler, man.
Oh god, why did I say Kazarian? Robert Zedar is fucking...
Frankie Kazarian. From TNA Wrestling.
I think his character's supposed to be Japanese. Like, full on, straight up. Like, because
Yes,
you asked
because
what his name was
because
earlier, and it's, I think
he's
it's like Okinawa or something.
it's got a ponytail. Like, because
Also, so
No.
does Samurai Cop
sometimes...
for like 20 minutes and then never again.
this movie's random. Anyway, go
Yeah.
see Samurai Cop.
Go see it in
Go
theater near
see
you.
it. No, that was never in a theater near anybody. That wasn't even in their home theater. That wasn't even in their basement theater.
On glorious VHS.
a glorious VHS. Go watch this movie in glorious VHS, or go see it. I think there's a special edition out.
Blu-ray coming out.
Is it a Blu-ray coming out? Is that one?
It's there.
I know there is a DVD out, a special
Think so.
edition DVD that was put out by the guy that actually is directing part 2. Yeah.
I thought he put it in Blu-ray. Never mind.
Oh,
I
no.
guess it was a DVD.
You may have put it Blu-ray. No, that's
I
the
don't know.
thing.
I've never heard of Cinema Epoch, by the way.
I think I have. It's not a good sign though, because I watch a lot of crap.
Oh boy,
Samurai Cop.
Samurai Cop.
We knew you will. Oh, so in this movie we have. Let's do a Joe Bob Briggs count. Oh yeah. We have a ton of violence. We have at least 4 different pairs of breasts. Well, 3.5 pairs of breasts in this film.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Because if we're going to be reviewing this type of film, there's a ton of bad action sequences.
Yes. All right. So, movie making tip, I guess, if you want to say that. If you're gonna make a shootout, somehow like portray the fact that there is some form of 1, like stakes, 2, bullets anywhere, because a lot of it's just this.
Oh,
they
and
don't
another
move around.
thing,
Nothing's getting hit.
they can be shooting at somebody, and the camera will move, and when they come, it can for like a second, and they'll show the other person shooting, and then they'll go back and they'll be shooting, but that person will be in a completely different location. I mean, I don't mean like he moved over to the next tree. I mean, he's in
a completely different location. I am pretty sure that Doctor Who was somehow involved in this because Samurai Cop
His
has
full
a
house
that
teleports.
teleports like a freaking TARDIS because he's up in this
He
place
goes-
all
yeah.
by himself in the hills.
Yeah, he goes up. It shows his car up go up into his house in the hills, like
Does he-
alone, up in this like hill, in this like big field, empty field. And then later on, they escape his house in the suburbs,
Yeah.
where they were. They literally walked down to go to the ocean
Yes.
at one point.
Yes, they did. Because they come up from the ocean and they go. They have their lovemaking scene, which is awkward and sad. But the girl looks really cute. She's actually a porn. She became a porn actress.
Was it afterwards or was it during?
I'm not sure. I hope it wasn't during. That's all kinds of awkwardness that I don't want to get into.
Downgrade right there.
Oh, you're so cool, Brewster. There's a reference.
I'm literally hurting now that I realized that they came up from the ocean, and then his house was later in the suburbs.
Yeah.
Oh, also, most of the characters wore all of their own clothes and drove their own cars.
Yep.
Like they're like the actors stuff. This
It's-
movie was a mess. We
Yeah.
finished the review and we're still like
We're
we gave you the scores. I
here.
gave you a stinger, and then we're just like sitting back here.
Right.
It's podcast style, just being like, "Oh, that was terrible. That was a mess. That was bad." This is usually what we do after. By the way, like when the camera turns off, me and Dad presses upload. We stand up, and we're like, "That was shitty," and then he gets tea again because he's an addict,
Yes.
and I'm drinking Jolly Rancher sodas.
Actually, no, that was good.
That was good. I still got 2 more, I think.
I know. I'm going to definitely take a taste of those too.
Absolutely. But now, here we are, just unwinding. Like
And
6 minutes from the ending, just being
On
like,
camera.
on camera, just being like, no, this was bad.
So this is like raw. This is like
The rawest.
this is a raw review.
realest review you've ever seen.
This is a Samurai Cop type review.
Movie so bad it's broken the reviewers. They can't even form coherent videos.
Can't turn it off because it's
We
still
haven't
going
established
on.
ourselves as a video dad.
Well,
Alright.
all right.
We'll give you some peace now. Mostly only because, like, you spent all this time watching the review. What are you fucking doing here? Go watch Samurai Cop.
Why are you not watching Samurai Cop right now?
Honestly, you can do one thing this
Oh.
Christmas for anyone you love. Get them, like, a Samurai Cop. Just sit down. I don't care if they want, if it's your child, he wants an Xbox One, a PS4, get him Samurai Cop.
Yeah.
He won't know at first, but
Yeah.
like it more.
Yeah, we're like, hey, little Jimmy, I know you wanted that PlayStation 4 and that Until Dawn game, but just open the box.
The first box,
Yeah.
he'll think it's Until Dawn, and he'll open it, and it's like, oh, it's Samurai thing. Then he'll see this big box, and he'll be like, oh my goodness, this is it, and he'll open it up, and it'll be dozens of copies of Samurai Cop.
There'll be a poster there. They'll have a T-shirt.
By the way, the cover's
Speedo,
confusing.
because that's really strange. That's something that's strangely homoerotic and really weird to be giving your kid. But it's a Samurai Cop package. And just for
quote on
fun.
the front, which, like, viewers say, this is barely a film.
this is barely a film. Acting non-existent. And little Jim will look at Witch Jock and he'll turn around and think, thank God I've got my stocking and they're sticking up. Out of that, it's time myself the room. And Christmas, guys, it's complete.
Christmas 2015, it won't even be The Room. It's gonna be Samurai Cop 2 Deadly Vengeance.
No. I can't wait to see that.
No, I can't wait.
Samurai
either.
Cop, you're tearing me apart.
After the movies that I've wanted to see recently, Fan Four Stick.
That wasn't as bad as people say. Actually, let's get in. Let's podcast this.
Are we? I have to change the name in a second.
You'll see the name. And you're like, that's not what this is about. Yeah, that's because when I do this, after I put these up here, the name goes completely different.
Yeah.
Because I get I'll go and I'll upload this from my iMac here, and I'll be like, I'll put this title on there, and you see the title on here,
But when you turn on to watch the thing, it'll be like X, Y, Z, A, B, C, T, like this huge thing. I'm like, okay, put a name in.
Right now it says like Bargain Basement Review. By the time it comes up, it will be like Podcasts, Fantastic Four, Charlie Rancher.
So let's talk
Soldier.
about Fantastic Four. Did you see that yet?
I've not seen it fully. I've seen bits of it. I haven't had the time to sit
It's
down and watch it. I've
not
been working.
A good movie, but it has good parts to it. The actors are overall fairly good.
Yeah.
Miles Teller does a great job in making Reed Richards at least interesting for once. Reed Richards is not an easy character to make interesting unless you're going to make Reed Richards a bad guy. That's sad but true, and I'm a huge Fantastic Four fan. I love the characters of Fantastic Four. I love the Reed Richards. I do not think this was a good movie. Don't get me wrong, but I think it was a better movie than people are saying it was. It is not Elektra. It's not Elektra. Though it does
See,
the action is non-existent.
like one of the problems, and I like even before the film came out, I said this to a friend because I was like, "We're gonna go see it," which we never got to do because I've been busy. And he the entire time was like, "Please God, don't make me see that." And I'm like, "We're gonna go see it. We have to go see it." And now I'm gonna have to buy it or something to watch it with him. But yay, because I have to.
$41, dude.
$41.
Yeah, that's the price again right now. It's $41.
Jesus.
Might even gotta get it in 3D.
Anyways, like we were talking about it, and I was like, the problem is, nobody Fantastic Four is boring. It's always been boring.
They're not the
They're
cartoons.
so boring. All of them are boring, and like one of the major parts of them boring is what makes them the Fantastic Four. They're a family where they don't need to have any secret identities.
Not in this guy.
No,
in this
not
movie.
in this movie.
No.
But they're a family where they don't need to have any secret identities, so they're just like they're
Which is
just
cool,
superheroes being super. But that's another problem. As much as I like get annoyed sometimes when I watch Spectacular Spider-Man, which is my favorite Spider-Man cartoon, when like the episodes where Aunt May's like, "You've got a curfew, you're going out" and stuff like that.
Spider-Man is Amazing Friends. Or the cartoon before.
And I'm like, I don't really want to deal with this like Peter Parker teen stuff because I know like not at least his mom stuff. Like I don't really care about Aunt May that much, to be honest. Like the Aunt May, like, oh, Aunt May needs her medicine. I don't care about that. Nobody wants to know about that. But in this case, it's the totally opposite with Fantastic Four, where they're a group where nothing matters because they're all superheroes. All they do is superhero stuff all the time, which sounds awesome until you realize that they just sit around and do science and then fight their list of terrible villains.
No, let's be fair. Reed
Dr.
Richards,
Doom's amazing.
in actuality, as a character in the Marvel Universe, is a badass. He's a complete... This is a guy this guy has taken down Galactus.
It's true.
He has taken down all
to be
the
fair,
big baddies.
Uatu helped a lot there.
Oh, but still.
The Ultimate Nullifier.
Yeah, but that's, he's taken down all the big
At the
bads.
same time, like,
And when he turns, like, darker, when Civil War comes about, and, like, that Reed Richards is dark and is, like, teetering on the edge of, like, being mad.
Marvel likes to do that with their comics a lot, where, like, people are very ambiguous. Iron Man has been ambiguous for a long time.
Iron Man's always been pretty ambiguous.
Captain America has made some, like, more, like, ambiguous choices recently. Reed Richards, especially. Black Bolt.
Well, the
and
whole
Namor.
idea of the Illuminati storyline was...
that really played into Secret Wars recently, and there was a lot of stuff.
But getting back to the Fantastic Four, like the movie itself,
Yeah.
and I've defended it, and because I don't want to get on the hate train of everybody just, lemmingly going across and just, like, out and out hating it. Now, that being said, I didn't enjoy the film all that much. I did like I liked things about the film, but it basically seemed like an overly long setup for what the movie could have been.
I heard that It's Clobbering Time is, like, reference back to him getting beaten by his brother.
Yes.
What the fuck?
Yes.
That's one of the best
only
catchphrases from... That's, like,
It's
what I was saying
clobbering time
before.
means like he comes home after being with Reed, kind of basically, and he's like, he said, "Where you been, son?" He said, "No, I was just out." He said, "Well, you know what's happening now, right?" So, yeah, it's clobbering time. And he starts to
All right, so
beat up
that
the little
movie is
kid.
immediately on my shit list. I don't care anything else about it. What I was going to say
That's
is that
horrible, by
even
the
in the
way.
comic books, the Fantastic Four are boring. But the most non-boring character is the Thing.
Now,
His fun thing, the best thing about the Thing is that he, no matter what, is always
he's a
the
killer,
one-
by the way, in this one too.
He what?
He works for the government at the beginning of the movie, and I think it's like, now, if you guys have seen this, correct me if I'm wrong on this one, but isn't there like a sequence where basically, God, it's been a while, where it's like 40 something confirmed kills, because the government has the Thing working for them. Well, because what happens is Mr. Fantastic, like wakes up before everybody else, and he's like really stretched out. So he gets out and he sees what happened to Ben, and he freaks out and he runs away, and he's gone for months, like for like a year, like for months
think
upon
it's like-
months.
It's like
Meanwhile,
a year or something, I think,
They're
of it.
training, like for the government, and like Johnny Storm is the funnest part of this movie. He like really embraces his powers. He starts like doing stuff, but Thing embraces his powers in a very dark way. The Thing, like there's a sequence in the trailer where we see the Thing, and he's being like remember that he's in a plane. That's not in the movie.
Yeah, I heard. Like, there's an entire action scene cut out.
Yeah, there's like a big scene where he's like swinging the tank thing. If you look really closely on one of the monitors during one of the Thing like attacking like army training things, you can kind of see that sequence, a part of that sequence. Now the Thing is kind of a dark, kind of like he's killed people type thing, or if at least it looks to 41 or 48 confirmed kills or hits or something like that, and that's what he's been doing. He's been in this kind of like enclosed space, and they like let him out to do stuff. But that completely changes on the fly. Now, the more I talk about this, the less sense this movie makes to me. And
What you're describing to me is literally just a piece of shit.
Now,
On
the
now,
Fantastic Four tries so really, really hard to do the tone of the DC style films. They try to do the Dark Knight, and here's what kills it for me. They took a science-based origin, like Ultimate, from the Ultimate Universe, which I really like. They took actors, which I really like. They took some different character aspects that I thought that worked really well separately and would have worked well together if they had taken these actors, had a better script, and used the same basic science type thing. Use the Ultimate type origin. I really did like that. I didn't mind Doom as much as a lot of people did. I did think it was a little whiny.
I've seen what he looks like.
Actually,
That's shit.
no, I
by
didn't
the
mind
way.
that. I did not mind that.
I didn't like the look at all.
Now, it wasn't like the classic Doom type of thing. But
Look,
Doom's story has never been, let's face it, guys, Doom's origin never been a good one. It's never been the solidest of the Marvel origins. Oh no! I've been,
My mom's trapped in hell.
yeah, that's
The machine blew up and like. All right, so
and sometimes his face
was
is really scarred, and other times
have you
he just has
seen what
one
his face
scar.
looks like? It was like officially revealed recently in Secret Wars.
So for what was it this time?
He doesn't have a nose. There's a gaping hole right here. His face is messed up. He looks freaky.
Does he put his hand in his cape and go like this and go ha ha ha?
He
Because
freaked.
that's Phantom of the Opera.
When I saw the picture, I was like it looks like a real like grotesque like
The best
gangrene
version
victim.
of Von Doom was the one where they basically hint at the fact that that he's got like a little scar, and it's totally freaking mental, like his whole thing. He's that much
Yeah.
perfectionist. That made sense to me.
I watched a video.
But yeah, the
from,
movie's pretty crappy. I'll watch it though. Give it a watch. It's not a great movie to watch. It does. Some of the actors do some decent roles for the stuff that they do. The Thing actually looks good in the film. I pity Denny's, who actually made a deal to make a Thing burger, which I think is a horrible idea because the Thing is the dude's made of orange rocks.
Yeah,
It
what
is-
are you gonna do for that? Yay!
But
Eat
and
the
they're
burger that tastes like gravel.
and they're tied to this massive, like horribly done film. And I mean,
This movie has like less than half
but I did
its
enjoy.
money back. I think.
I didn't enjoy it when I was watching it. I mean, like, it's one of those movies that you can have a fun watch with. You're going to be like, this isn't great. And each time, it's one of those things, as you talk about it more, as you think about it, you're like, oh, that didn't make much sense. That didn't make much sense. But while I was watching it, was okay. I mean, like, it was...
I haven't seen the movie yet, obviously. We've well established before.
It's not a good movie.
In
No,
all the
not even-
videos. No. In all the videos we've done, as well as the cathode ray and stuff like that, we've established that I'm a really big comic book guy. All of this just sounds like a headache.
You'll
Oh my
like
god.
it for its bad.
The Thing killed people. The happy
Dude,
Jewish
you like this movie.
superhero
Horse
who's
clobbering.
literally like the best kills people, and they ruin the most like family friendly, lovable catchphrases of all time.
I'm telling you,
It's
and in this
clobbering
movie, by
time.
the way,
There's not even Yancey Street.
Sue doesn't have anything to do with the thing. They haven't met, really. Also,
Can I just say?
by the way, Sue does not get her powers totally the same way they do. Because she doesn't go.
What?
No, Victor Doom, Reed Richards calls his buddy Ben to come up because Ben was there when he started doing this whole Powderworks, whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Transport, Ben Grimm, and Johnny Storm decide to go over to this other dimension because it's going to be taken away from them by the government the next day. So they go on over. They go there. Sue doesn't go with them. Sue's on a computer
Of course, she doesn't.
on the other side, helping them get back basically when things happen. When something happens and Doom doesn't get back, but Sue doesn't go with them. But I guess excess energy or something from when they.
Why didn't everyone get powers then? Why doesn't
She was the only one around at that time.
Why doesn't Franklin Richard get powers? Franklin Storm get powers and stuff like that.
He's not. Oh, you mean the old dude? He's
Yeah.
Not, no, he's off somewhere else. So she's the only one.
Also, like, I've heard there's pretty much no family like relation stuff
No.
in this.
There's
Not
no,
even between like Johnny and Sue,
not.
which would have made perfect sense. Like, you've changed
Actually,
the
I would have liked to have seen that delved into more because Johnny kind of resents Sue, and then Sue's the adopted one, and show
exactly. Like some people, like I know some people are like
a lot of
people
wasted
who
potential.
like people who like either bigger like people who just don't like certain changes are like you've made Johnny Black, but this is a perfect like for such a family oriented like mythos. A thing is they are the family of superheroes. This is a perfect time to explore that with her being the adopted sibling. This is like a perfect way. There's no other superhero team or like character in general where you would better get a chance to explore what is like for these people to be adopted siblings, especially consider like
and in a mixed race family, and
yeah,
that's,
exactly,
and that's
exactly. This
today.
is the perfect place to do it. And listen, I was gonna say the Fantastic Four is boring, and it is. But the one thing that's okay about it is the family aspect. That's what makes them what they are. So, what
No.
I've got here is a bunch of shitty representations
Yeah.
of characters that are barely representations of those characters.
Ben and Reed as kids, and when the scenes you get between Ben and Reed, which are very, very few, because Reed goes into the to this institute, the Reed Richards Institute,
Yeah.
but nobody else goes in. Like Ben doesn't go with. Ben goes out, and it's not seen for like a nice bit of movie afterwards. But
and then Reed's on the run too.
their friendship is really good. And it's like it's established early on. I'm like, yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
You know,
This is the way that they establish it. And you know what kills me? You see Chronicle?
no,
I saw
don't wanna
Chronicle.
see Chronicle.
See, Chronicle is a great, more interesting, establishing type of family when somebody going bad. Fantastic Four movie. So why the hell?
How the fuck did he fuck that up?
Josh Trank made this film. And
Also,
and people
can
are
I
going
just
like
say-
Josh Trank was smoking weed and they didn't get along with the people.
He must have known this was shitty.
Well, he went on.
He went on afterwards and was just like, alright, so... And I have heard that apparently an earlier version of it had Galactus, Mole Man, Latveria, Yancey Street, all this stuff in it, which I don't know if it would have fixed things if it's in the same tone, but it still would have brought about more of a world
We
to
needed
it.
more action in this film. We needed more
We
characterization.
needed more
fleshed
Fantastic
out.
Four.
Here's
Jesus.
the thing. I don't mind being. There's two things. There's a couple things that this does right. One, Reed Richards and Sue. There's no romance. There's no romance in the first film. Thank you. I like that. Don't force the romance in the first movie.
Yeah, we know they get married,
Let
it's
that
fine.
slowly develop. Don't do what they did in Man of Steel, where there's suddenly this out of nowhere awkward kiss between Lois and Superman, and you're like,
at least
what
in
the
that
hell?
situation, like,
no, it really takes you out of the movie. There's this
It
huge
does.
battle going on, and he comes down, and he like
they do
plants him
they
out.
do make this weird comment about the kiss thing. Like the only part that I'm fine with them kissing in Man of Steel. It's just
I'm
that
not.
like, no, it's fine because she spends a majority of the movie like connecting and like learning about him. But like her line afterwards, the only line in the film where I was just like, Jesus Christ, was they say it all goes downhill after the first kiss. I'm like, he just.
Yeah.
Fuck, I could have literally just overlooked this as like a cool moment where you guys kissed and I didn't care, but now you've made it like it's also in the middle of like a wasteland. Too.
Yes, I know. And what about the whole like Jesus representation in that film?
That's
Think they do it enough? You think it's blatant enough?
there's once again only there's two scenes where I'm really annoyed. That where it's like, yeah, I'm Jesus, Dad. And the other one where she says it all goes downhill after the first kiss, where I'm just like, shut up, Lois.
Yeah,
I like that movie though, thank you.
But Fantastic Four, I love Man of Steel. I fought for Man of Steel when
Absolutely.
nobody else was like
A lot of people dislike it. I still, I stand by my word.
And it's set up for what I think is going to be a very good movie.
I am so
With-
excited for that.
It's Batman versus Superman versus Doomsday. Because I don't care what anybody says. Zod becoming Doomsday. That's what they're doing with that storyline.
He almost confirmed it. Well,
Really?
the other day. No, he pretty much legitimately did confirm
What
it.
do you say?
Well, the other day he said like something about there's a review where he said or an interview where he said like I'm wearing flipper hands in the next one, and then he said afterwards, "Oh, that was just a joke," because like he's like I didn't actually know I was in the movie until I saw the trailer.
Oh, he said I could be anybody. Is that
Well,
what I said? I could be
no,
like
he was-
Toaster. Or...
He said that, but he was like, but afterwards he was like, I didn't know I was in the movie. I've never actually been on set. I did some voiceover stuff, but I haven't actually been on set. I saw myself in the trailer and I was confused. He's like, but who knows? Maybe like Doomsday will have flipper hands in part 3. And I'm
You
like,
said Doomsday?
yeah, he full on said Doomsday may have flipper hands in part 3.
Maybe Doomsday. Oh, I mean,
Yeah,
maybe.
like,
Oh,
holy shit!
speaking of which, there has been some big casting news. Zoom has been cast in the new Flash TV series.
Who hasn't been cast in the new Flash series? Dad,
Do you
we
know
got
who
Jake.
Zoom is?
Yeah, Tony Todd.
Yes, but we do not know how he's playing Zoom.
I know he's the voice.
He's the voice of Zoom.
Uh,
I don't know. If
We
it's
don't
gonna-
know who Zoom is though. Again, which means it's
It's good.
probably gonna be
I don't think so.
Eddie.
No, we know. I think if they're doing Tony Todd, then I am not sure who the hell Wally West is going to be. Wally West. But yeah, I'm thinking it's probably going to be some kind of version of Wally West or something like that.
They might do the Future Flash storyline from New 52.
Zoom is a different character from Professor Zoom. Professor Zoom is a character that most people are familiar with. Eobard Thawne character.
Though
Uh,
he's only
if you've
referred to
read-
as Reverse Flash during the thing, he is Professor Zoom.
Yeah, that's what he's originally called.
Honestly, I've heard,
Zoom character is Hunter Zolomon, right?
I totally prefer Zoom. They're not going with the Hunter Zolomon thing. Apparently, I see.
Well, if they can, if they use Eddie. I mean, if
Yeah.
they find a way to bring Eddie back.
they
But doesn't
mentioned
he
that
have
they're.
another show?
What?
I thought he had another show. Another TV
Wait
show.
a second. Tony Todd is voicing him?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. No, I. Alright.
You have a theory?
Remember, they mentioned recently, right? Because they said, like, the reason that Tony Todd's doing the voice is because, like, with Reverse Flash, he was wearing the Professor Zoom suit, right?
Yeah.
With Zoom,
He's always gonna-
it's going to be more organic, right? Apparently, it's going to look more like the suit is more him.
Is he the Blue Flash or that's someone totally different?
No, Blue Flash is Blue Flash is Future Flash, this evil version of Barry.
I still like the fact he had so many speedsters in this time. Jake
Oh,
Garrick,
absolutely.
Jesse Quick's in it.
But there is a Reverse Flash in the New 52. He looks like organic, like he, as they said before. They said that Professor Zoom, Reverse Flash, was the Speed Warrior, whereas this Zoom is the Speed Demon, and he looks more organic. He looked more demonic, this New 52 one, and he ended up being, spoilers possibly,
Yeah, well,
For
we don't.
season two.
We haven't read.
but we haven't read
seen
it, and
so.
it's probably not even going to be this. It was Iris West's brother.
Wally.
No, that's her.
Oh,
cousin.
the other brother.
The other brother, who's not like
It's not it.
who was missing for a while or something like that. I can absolutely see them being like, oh, you're the brother, like you are my boyfriend / the brother I never had, which we narrowly avoid like throughout the thing.
No, it'll be
And then
interesting to
bringing
see how
it-
those go. Next
Absolutely.
season. I'm looking forward to the
I'm
Flash.
so-
I'm actually less looking forward to Arrow this season. There's
Constantine's coming in it.
Yeah, I like that aspect of it. I like
I
Constantine.
like the fact that they're retroactively putting Constantine in.
he
Because
deserves
he was really
his own
good.
series. He really does. But he deserves like a Netflix type series.
Even
Uh,
I am getting a little bit like, ho, 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 though. I love comic books, you know that? But, like, when I, like, every day I'll go on and it's like, we've casted Hawkman, Vandal Savage, Jesse Quick, Jay Garrick, Wally West, Zoom, Constantine's in it now. Last season of, Arrow introduced Katana, Wildcat, Ra's al Ghul. Like, there's so many characters now, and I'm like,
The less we say
Wow.
about the Katana characters, it didn't work out the way that I thought it was going to.
yet the more we see of Wildcat, even though he wasn't honestly the best, I just love Wildcat.
I don't think it wasn't his fault. The fact is that the actor got another gig, and he let him go.
Is that what they did?
Yeah, the
Can
actor
they
got
just
another job.
recast him?
He did such. It was
He was
entrenched and
pretty
did a
good.
good job in the role. They don't really recast usually on that show unless they really need to. This isn't like Game of Thrones where you're watching it and all of a sudden next season this actor comes on the screen and you're like, who the hell is that? They need to do what soap operas used to do.
Okay.
You know, the role of the mountain is being played by, because you know the mountain's been played by 3-4 people now.
Like, I don't know, I really liked Wildcat, though.
Yeah, Wildcat was a good character,
I
but
really would have liked to have seen him in a more of an actual Wildcat suit, by the way.
Yeah.
Not the full Wildcat suit, which is... By the way, did you know that Wildcat has one of the best superpowers ever?
punching,
No, he's got a legitimate superpower.
which was it?
He once fought a wizard in a boxing match that he was supposed to lose, but he did not. So the wizard was going to turn him into an actual full-on cat. But Zatara, stopped the magic midway. He didn't turn into a cat, but instead he got 9 lives. Which sounds cool in general, just have 9 lives, right? He later on realized, was talking to someone. I think it was a mystic or something. I think it was Zatara again, or Dr. Fate. And he was like, so I've died 12 times now. It was reset once, but I've died at least 20-something times. I don't understand. I thought I had 9 lives. And they check it out, and they're like, oh no, you have to die 9 times consecutively in one fight, or else it resets and you're alive again. How badass is that for a power?
That's pretty cool.
Dying 9 times in a row.
But at that point, I don't think Arrow would have used that. Although
actually,
they were
no.
sort of getting into the mysticism and
It's gone full on now, though.
well, they got
Jesus.
Constantine in it. So,
The Lazarus Pit.
well, that's Constantine. Well, obviously, she can't come back totally with the Lazarus Pit. So, Constantine is being brought on the show in a way to bring back what they say is rumored to bring back the girl, so that she can become the
White Canary.
White Canary, which I
I love
like.
how no one thought of this the entire last season.
I'm a huge fan of that actress. I think she's really cute. So I'm on board with that.
I'm still curious as to what Legends of Tomorrow is going to do.
It's gonna be more movie-like. There's a bit more budget put into it, like Peggy Carter, which ran 8 episodes, and had a bigger budget, and it really showed on the screen.
Now-
And so many people didn't watch Peggy Carter, and they should have because it was such a good show. I'm so glad it's getting the second season. Have you checked it the first season?
I have
You
not.
really
I'll
should.
Watch and binge. I guess.
Guys, if you haven't seen Peggy Carter, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it's much better than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. series, which I gotta start watching because I know it's going to tie in with the Marvel Universe with the whole human aspect of it.
Like 4 years, yeah.
Still, you gotta catch up before that.
It's going to be weird going into the Inhumans movie, knowing that, there's going to be, considering Daisy Johnson is such a big character. Sorry, she used to be called Sky. She's fully called Daisy now. So, good luck changing a character's name 3 seasons in. Holy crap. Good on you. But, there's going to be so much, already back history from the show.
Yeah.
It's going to be weird.
Hopefully, they're going to deal with more of the other aspects of it.
What I have to say, though, the way that Legends of Tomorrow is being framed, it's fucking awesome. Arrow and Flash are going on their normal, weekly basis sort of thing. When they hit the mid-season finale, just after the mid-season finale, Legends Tomorrow goes throughout that mid-season, and then they come back. That is a perfect framing device. And just gonna put this one out there to any of the many people from the CW that watch our
Obviously, I'm watching this program
Watching
right now.
watching this hour-long thing that started as a review for Samurai
Cop.
an impromptu podcast. do Arrow, though it has been going a bit downhill. Season 3 was not the best.
I liked it.
It was, Flash is your hot stuff, right? Arrow is doing all right. If you want to keep up with the stuff, Legend Tomorrow is an awesome idea. But what you should do, honestly, is take lesser known characters and do them in the mid-season. That didn't come out right.
Do them in the mid-seasons.
It's like, do minor, like, Marvel's kind of doing it with their Netflix series, but that's
Yeah.
a little bit more involved. Take those mid-seasons and, like, make the mid-season show, because clearly the mid-season shows are, like, the more, like, what can we do during, like, the break sort of things. Take those characters that, like, you say, well, they could be interesting, we don't know how they'll go over, let's see, and do them there.
Yeah, you got that time when people are like craving it, that in between when the show's off the air. They're like,
It's a perfect time to, like for people who like those shows, to be introduced into those shows. Because if you do it during the regular season, they're going to be like, I'm already watching Arrow and Flash. But if you got that mid-season time, where people are like, man, what am I going to do while Arrow and Flash is over? And you say there's another character set in the same universe.
exactly, and that's completely how summer shows started, actually.
Exactly.
Well, for a while, there used to be like shows that just came on in the fall, and then they would come back on again in the fall. Then they started like experimenting with summer programming, and a lot of shows became popular that were going to pretty much be taken off the air because of that. Saved by the Bell, for instance, things like Meryl's Place and that. But what's the most popular show? Like what's got the most buzz? And it's not any of those shows. Supergirl has the most buzz out of all of the shows. It's the most watched trailer. It's got the most buzz behind it. And it's really strange because I don't hear a lot of people that I know, comic book wise, actually talking about Supergirl. And I actually hope
never talking about Supergirl.
Yeah, I hope it does well because it's the first one that's actually anchored since Wonder Woman. I think it's probably the first like a female led
Absolutely.
superhero show. So I'm hoping it really does well.
It's also a bold move, considering the big three have always been a no-no for TV since Smallville.
Yeah. And they got some decent characters. We got Hank Henshaw in this, and I really am a big fan of the Hank Henshaw character, so I want to see what they do with
different in this.
Good actor.
But, like,
very good actor.
it's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be interesting.
They have, like, they're going around, like, the country. They're touring. They have, like, these little girls called Super Scouts that they have, like...
Yeah, I saw that.
So it's really nice. I like what they're doing with stuff. So I really hope it does well.
It also, for me, it definitely pushes more towards the idea, because Supergirl could have easily been on the CW. Apparently, I've heard that they said no to it because they were just putting out Flash at the time, and they weren't really sure. Like, Green Arrow was the only superhero show they'd done, and they were like, we're doing a gamble on Flash, so we'll see. That means that there's a slight more, like, an easing into the idea of the big three, the Trinity, on TV. And I would absolutely be fine with seeing these characters.
On TV? Would you run Batman on TV?
No, I think you could do...
Well, aside from, like, young Batman.
Alright. But, like, no, I honestly think Batman would be fine on TV, and, like, they don't even need to fully be on the show. Like, mentions are fine. The closest thing we've gotten so far was the Wayne Tech takeover of, or Wayne Corps takeover of Queen Consolidated, which was the first time where... I remember when that came out, and, like, people were like, whoa! Batman references, and there's been references to Bloodhaven, Green Lantern.
They're huge. The Carol.
That was one of the biggest, like, things. At the end of The Flash...
but those references from Green Lantern were like, sparkle throughout the series.
But, like, it was always little things, like, things that you can be like, oh, like this. But that was a full-on, direct Hal Jordan reference.
Yeah,
the test pilot has went missing.
Yeah, and I don't know if to do the Hal Jordan thing. Depends on which Green Lantern they're going to use in the film. If they use Hal Jordan, then they're probably not. Maybe get Guy Gardner for the TV series.
But, you know, they're using Barry Allen for the movies, and...
That's a different universe, yeah. I would like to see... that's how Green Arrow became famous. I mean, like, he was pretty much a Batman knockoff. And and it's very cheesy
stuff. And they went really hard on that.
And he went for, instead of, like, afterwards, he did, like, a Jim Aparo. I think it was Jim Aparo. What's Jim Aparo? One of those writers. Oh God, Lauren, you know this right now. I don't have it on me. So I got the book, and the Green Arrow book. Green Arrow, Green Lantern did like a series.
Oh yeah. Oh shit.
Neil Adams, right?
Yeah, it is.
I met the guy. Okay. And he did this whole series where it's kind of like socially relevant stuff. Speedy is the junkie, kind of reference in the first
They
season.
go on a road trip.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's fun. So
That's
I would
also
like
a
to see
thing.
some aspects of that. I'm not sure
I
if I would
absolutely
want
would
to see
like to
like
see
Green Lantern on a full-time basis, but like wouldn't mind seeing them. There's certain characters that I wouldn't mind seeing them explore. I was hoping Constantine would stay on the air because I really wanted them to explore certain characters in that universe. I
That
wanted to
show-
see Swamp Thing. I want to see Alex Holland. I want to see Swamp Thing. There's so many
the thing
characters
is,
that I want to see.
I know they said when they're bringing back Constantine for a single episode, but they are leaving it. They're definitely like.
Leaving it open.
They're testing the waters.
Well, Stephen Amell fought really, really hard to get Matt Ryan on it. If you're a fan of Constantine, definitely check out Arrow this season. If you're a fan of Assassin's Creed Black Flag, check out Arrow this season. Because Constantine, Matt Ryan, that's the guy that voices the main character in Assassin's Creed Black Flag. First thing I noticed when I was playing the game.
I know that they're retroactively putting Constantine in it, but you know what they shouldn't retroactively do?
Don't go with this. Oh, you're gonna bitch with Spectre
I
again.
love the Spectre. They ruined the Spectre. That's my only problem with it. Even if the Spectre episode has this hilarious scene with his friend.
He's shaving his beard. It's like shaving his beard, putting his hair back on.
No,
Look, I now look like John.
that'd be amazing. But like, there's this one scene in the episode where Spectre's in it. They're stopping this like ghost who who kills people, who cut like her face up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
She asks like, "Am I pretty?" If you say like, yes, she reveals her scarred face and scars and kills you. If you say no, she just straight up kills you.
So you're screwed either way.
Yeah, and he goes up. Like, he gets killed the first time. It's his friend who can, resurrect himself. And, he comes up, and she's like, "Am I pretty?" And he's like, "I don't know, am I pretty?" And she's like, "Am I pretty?" And he's like,
I asked you first.
Is it night? He's like, "Is it night out?" And he's like, "Do you think I can run, all the way down the block?" And she's just like, "Am I pretty?" He's like, "Can you believe I didn't think of asking you questions earlier?" And she just, until she goes away, and I'm like, that was a fucking fun scene.
That was one of the better episodes, though, too.
That was one of the better episodes.
Matt Ryan and the actor that plays the Spectre on it, they
Yeah.
actually were really good friends. They actually really bonded. So and he was a good actor. I got to say, he wasn't.
He's
He
a good
didn't look
actor.
like the Spectre.
He doesn't
Or didn't
look,
seem like the Spectre as I know him.
seem anything like the Spectre. He
But
was
I
not
did
the
like
Spectre.
I did like his character.
He was a cool guy for who he was, but not the Spectre.
Well, I think this is we're kind of like the Spectre is an original origin. We couldn't go there. It was it's seated in a whole different era, through a whole different time. So, as an update,
He
to
is
see,
such a cool character. DC, can I do a Spectre show now? Because I really love the Spectre.
I've got the beard already. See,
He doesn't have a fucking beard.
okay.
I think the character's so interesting, and they should have done so much more with him. I would totally love to see Swamp Thing. Because they are testing the waters with Constantine by putting him on there and seeing if he should come on more.
Swamp Thing would be awesome.
If they're gonna do another series, let Constantine be a side character. They could do a Swamp Thing series, or listen. I know Del Toro said there's gonna be a Dark Universe thing.
But is it really not going to let him do it? Let him do it for TV. Let that be one thing.
please.
Matthew said do a Legends, and do a different show in every between seasons. What about a Justice League Dark series? I would love to see a 10-episode Justice League Dark series.
Absolutely. You could do it I'd love to see a Books of Magic.
Would you not love to see the Demon Etrigan?
Absolutely.
I'm a big fan. I'm an Etrigan fan. That's one of my big characters. Etrigan, Animal Man. Those are two of my favorite characters from the DC, that type of universe. I also like Shade. Shade's another one that I like.
Shade.
You're a huge Shade fan,
Shade.
right? But
do a Books of Magic series. Honestly, that'd be nice. That'd be a good way to frame it too, with the Trenchcoat Brigade and different characters like that. If you just edited the story a little bit and had him
Well,
had this character.
Seth Rogen's making Preacher. Remember Will Ferrell to make the Trenchcoat Brigade. Actually, I saw Arseface.
I saw
That didn't look bad.
It
was kind of blurry.
It was blurry and it was like dark, but he looked like Arseface.
He did. I mean, I was impressed. I gotta say.
I only read a bit of Preacher. It's all right.
I like Preacher.
It's okay. I don't know if it's totally for me, but it's pretty good.
Like, it's not as epic as like Transmetropolitan
No,
or Wild Last Man,
no,
but it is
it's
a really fun series.
Yeah, it's fun. It's definitely fun, but it's not in the same like league as Sandman, Shade, Transmetropolitan, Wild Last Man, stuff like that. It's not one of the best of the Vertigo.
A lot of people like disagree with that shit.
Oh,
but
I
it
know
has
they
a
totally
huge
disagree.
pop.
It's real. It's good. I just don't find it as good as some of the other series.
Show us the comic you picked up today, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Since we're going to do a podcast, we're going to go tell a comic with us.
I've been reading through this. We talked about it once on the Cathode Ray.
It's the latest issue of Puppet Master. Just came out, right?
Yeah. The first issue I was like slightly disappointed with, but the first arc actually shaped itself really well.
So who we got writing? I guess he was writing and drawing. This is
I don't know if you'll know them because this is a pretty like.
So
yeah.
again, do they always have like a bunch of covers for these?
Yeah,
things?
they have a bunch of variant covers. The
Yeah.
variant cover for this one is Torch.
Torch. I'm a huge fan of Torch from the
I don't have
second.
any of the variant covers
Master.
because these are the only copies that come into St. John's.
Yeah, and you know who?
They specifically ordered it in for me.
So this is a new pull box
This
Right.
is the only
Just
thing in my
easy.
pull box.
right now. Yeah.
Because I keep going and saying like I'm gonna go get a pull box, and then like I look at everything that's there, and I'm like I don't know if I'm really totally into it right now. But this is like I prefer reading older stuff a lot of the times.
So how did you find that issue, by the way? It's sort of starting a new storyline.
It's the second issue in a storyline. In the second storyline, it's
So it's the second arc.
like I'm super interested in where it's going, and I love how faithful they are to the movies. There's references to 3. There's references to 2. There's a nice final reference to fully explain why Toulon was crazy evil in 2.
So they explain that.
Yeah, it's a one line throwaway that makes perfect sense. Because at the time it's like, oh, he's been driven mad by look, he wants Elsa back. But there's a line where he says I'm sorry what I made you all do when you brought me back in the decaying body. My mind was rotten at the time and already half decayed. And it's makes perfect sense. That's why he was so crazy.
Puppet Master comic books, fixing what the movies.
Absolutely, it's really well done. I'm glad they tied it all into things. There's a thing that happened that I'm
not a big fan of this, but it's too early to tell. Really,
it's too early to tell. I wish I had more time because the storyline's introducing some really interesting areas.
From what you're telling me, and
Yeah.
I don't want to give anything away because I want people to go and actually buy this comic too
Yeah.
much. But it seems like they're rushing out of it. That storyline being a bit rushed.
Yeah, the first storyline was like that too, where it was only a 3-issue storyline, and
Dude, even Maximum Carnage had 14 parts.
even Maximum Carnage.
Yeah, Maximum Carnage, and that sucked ass. That got me to stop reading comics for 2 years.
I've liked Carnage's other miniseries though. He's had a couple miniseries recently that are pretty good. Carnage USA. But no, they did 3 issues.
My eyes glaze over every time I read Carnage. That's because of Maximum Carnage.
I know. It's understandable. He was the most annoying these ass fucking. But the first issue, I was this seems pretty generically shit. And then the second issue has this interesting twist at the end where I'm like, oh. And then the third issue is fucking stellar. I really love the third issue. What they introduce, what was going on, how they tie it into a little what seemed to be just a throwaway scene at the beginning of the first issue, and I'm like,
So you're basically big on how they concluded that arc.
yeah, I'm super big on it. I feel like they could have like dragged it out more, and it would have been more interesting and mysterious. But I liked it a lot, and it's really nice. But I fear they're gonna do a 3-issue thing again with this one, which is sad because there's so much they could explore.
And now are these
With-
the same writer for like these different arcs, or are you putting on different writers for different arcs?
I do not know. I forgot to check this out. I think it's the same writer.
Question: now that they have a full-fledged Full Moon Puppet Master comic, is there any chance? Have you heard anything about maybe this is available and I don't know it? Subspecies. I'm a huge fan of subspecies.
I haven't heard anything about subspecies. However, I
would
believe
love to see Red.
That at the end of at the end of the thing, it reveals that there's going to be a Trancers comic book
Ooh,
coming out.
transfers. How was this guy? They ain't jacked up. It's not. I'm
I
like,
don't fucking know, man.
see, that is not Tim Thomerson. I mean, maybe he's just like, Tim Thompson's going to sue us, man. Hey, but Tim Thompson, you're going to sue our asses. Who the hell am I just voicing anyway? That, yeah. Okay, so Jimmy Palmiotti is working on this? Nice. Sorry, guys, I kind of geeked out. I'm a real big Transfers fan. I actually have Transfers 1, 2, and 3. It came out of the Full Moon collection box set that was out. I got it from Cinema Sickness, actually. If you guys watch his videos, he does a lot of about stuff.
It's
So, this company, Action Lab, Danger Zone, I'm not a big... I used to be really into comics, and I still am. I just haven't bought a lot of comics. Like, he will buy the comics. I will read them.
yeah.
You
I
should.
read-
You
I still
totally need to buy Delirium, the horror magazine for Full Moon, so I can read that too.
Oh god.
Looks good, actually.
The other stuff that this. Oh god.
Bong Genie. There's a lot of weird stuff there.
Evil Bong 420. But like their other stuff is
Evil Bong, the first movie, it has to be watched. It is hilarious. The rest of them, you can leave.
the other things that this company does are Bong Genie.
Is this a
Which
Full
is-
Moon company? Or?
No, these like Full Moon does a couple things with them. They also do Zombie Tramp.
I'm just surprised there's no crossover like Ooga Booga and Ninja. No, because those characters are completely on that up and up. Now let's move out of the comic aspect for right now.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you a couple things.
Sure.
So, and I don't think I'm going to blank on them. But I had them in my mind right when we were doing that.
super important questions right out of the gate. Let's go.
Questions that need to be answered.
Oh,
Stalling.
reminds me
I'm
of the
doing it.
Mitchell and Webb skit.
What's wrong?
Like Big Talk, I think it was called. The one where they like talk, they'll present a problem. They're like, let's really crunch this out.
Mitchell and Webb, a show you must watch. Mitchell and Webb are a British comedian team. If you haven't checked them out, you really, really should. They're really funny.
That was one of the other costume ideas I had for Angel Summoner and the BMX Bandit.
Oh, yeah.
I'll pop a wheelie and knock the guns out of their hands. Then I'll like, ride down the thing, do an endo, and just take out everyone.
That's
Like,
a
that's
good idea.
great.
Or BMX. I could
Summon
just summon some angels.
It was so good.
You could do that.
I love that.
That one, and there's the skit with the guy that goes in. There's a skit, this guy goes in to buy some stuff at the local convenience store, and he gets like a newspaper,
Oh, yeah.
some bread. It's like, I
But I'm
Oh.
mighty thirsty. I've an unquenchable thirst.
what kind of cat?
Oh, this looks good. Yes, that's the most amount of like alcohol
Oh.
percentage for the least amount we
Um,
sell here. Oh wow, what a good deal. What does this all come up to be? It's like $5.85. Well, I don't seem like it doesn't seem I have enough for the drink, the bread,
And the
and,
lager.
and the newspaper, and the lager, the newspaper, and the bread. So I'll put the bread back, and I'll put the newspaper back, and You know, I was just such quite a thirst that I'll grab 2 lagers.
Listen, and if you want to, maybe I'll just,
It's like,
set
if you,
aside.
if you want, you can lie down and fall asleep on the sidewalk again outside.
It is.
I just might do that.
It is hilarious. You just got to see it. It's cool. And I still have not remembered what I was gonna ask you though.
I gave you a perfect stalling.
I know you're like I'm gonna do skits. He's like, I'm gonna do I'll do Mitchell and Webb. See if I can think of any white skit stuff. I'll talk about the gravest.
The gravest.
The gravest.
Most
Kid-
thing I'm thinking of now, tying back to Samurai Cop, is Sex Robot after that nurse scene.
Oh man. That is I like it, but I don't find it as funny as a lot of people do.
What, Sex Robot?
Yeah, sex
I
robot.
don't know.
Sex robot.
Just, that's not the funny part though. It's the other one. What does he want? What do you want? Where did he come from?
Yeah, true.
He wants sex. You're not getting it, buddy. He'll never stop.
So we've talked about Samurai Cop.
Yep.
We've talked about
Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four, and we decided it's a pretty crappy movie with some pretty decent actors. Some
There's a lot of-
okay ideas, but mostly bad ones.
Yeah.
No, I did have fun with it. I think you should watch it just for a
I'll
watch.
probably watch it, yeah.
And we talked a crap load about comic series is coming out.
You did?
Comics. Now, do you have anything that you're getting coming up, like movies, games?
I don't know. I've been looking at Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. Maybe it's really
Did you know
interesting.
that they put a Easter egg for Silent Hill in there?
Yeah, I've heard
No,
there's been a
it counts
couple
away.
of PT stuff. I don't know. Like Fallout 4 is in November. I got that pre-ordered. I'm gonna be playing. Did
There's a lot of games coming out this year.
Yeah, I did the Call of Duty 3 or Call of Duty Black Ops 3 beta with Charles.
What do you think?
It was really, really fun. It's super
Okay.
fun. Movement, it's a lot more Titanfall-y, but it feels a bit more fast, and there's a little bit more like...
That's a good thing. Titanfall gets so underrated, especially when it comes to the... Here's the thing. I'm a huge mech fan. He knows what a huge
Yeah.
mech fan I am. But when I'm playing Titanfall, when you're out of the mech, that is so smooth and so well done. The way that the way that those characters handle, the way that they shoot, the way that they move around. I just had so much fun playing that game that I was just like, please do more of this. Now the next Titanfall 2, that one's like multi, like it's gonna be all consoles, right?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
I'm actually kind of pissed about that.
I don't know.
I think that Xbox deserves an exclusive.
Yeah, but it's not a first party game. It's a third party game. So same thing goes with the Tomb Raider thing. Next Tomb Raider.
Yeah, well, Tomb Raider is just that's the time exclusive.
Yeah, but at the same time.
I think it was IGN or one of those like websites that like did a list of all the games that are coming out, and it was like you need like over like 25 or 2600 just to get the big games that are coming out. And that's not even taking into account like some of the franchise games, like the WWE games and stuff like that that are coming out around November, which I will be pre-ordering because one, I like those games a lot more than I like the wrestling that's on nowadays. Although we did watch SmackDown this week actually.
Did you?
Me and him, and so it was actually pretty decent. I liked the way that it went.
Apparently, Charles watched.
That's SummerSlam.
I think it was something like that.
Jon Stewart, man, Jon Stewart.
Because he was at like his office or something like that, and they had, and he thought it was actually really interesting.
But yeah, it was good. I mean, like Seth Rollins is a good character. Dean Ambrose is amazing. He's pretty much like he channels Roddy Piper, that's for sure. Rest in peace, Roddy.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, we lost Wes Craven. We should talk about that, I guess.
You did a video though.
Yeah, well, I did like a tribute video thing, but no. We lost Wes Craven, and that was a big.
In the same
Oh,
week
good.
as the Scream finale too, which is it sucks.
Yeah.
I know he did have his own reservations about the series,
But he
but he was producing it, and
yeah, he did get it on
also
board.
we didn't even get to see a Scream 5 from him, which was A lot of stuff would have been really nice from him.
Wes Craven is one of the better. Like I spoke about in a video here before, that I'm a huge fan of Wes Craven.
Yeah.
I'm a big. I don't mean just like Nightmare on Elm Street, but I'm just a big fan of his overall. And Matt knows that we had the the Hills of Oz one.
Yeah.
Now watch the documentary. Just listen to Wes Craven's talking, because he really is a good talker.
He is. One of my favorite stories I've ever heard about anything related to a film is his story for what the basis of Freddy was,
Yeah, that was it.
which is a really cool, interesting story.
You've got to hear it. I don't know, did you see the Hills of Oz one?
I don't know if
We talk about them going to the desert and like shooting all this footage, and like the cars it breaks down, and they got like water and all. It's definitely check out his stuff. I think that in honor of Wes Craven, let us talk about our favorite Wes Craven films. But first off, let's do this really quick thing right now. There's been 4 Scream films. I'll rank them from worst to best.
from worst to best.
Worst to best.
3. 3. I. Mm. 3, 2, 4, 1. Honestly,
See, mine's the same. See, I was gonna I'm gonna say it because
you thought I was gonna say 3, 4, 2, 1.
yeah, I did. And I was like, yeah, and then it's like,
But I watched Scream 2 again recently, and it doesn't hold up as well as 4 does. Like,
Well, 4's a new
and one, like, after watching it, especially when they say the things like, how do you make a sequel better than the first one? It's not. It's good. It's all right, but like
the ending is like,
the ending's sloppy. I think one of the problems with the Scream series, honestly, is script leaks and rewrites. I've heard a lot of what they wanted to do, and then they changed afterwards. The original ending of Scream 2 was supposed to be, like, almost everyone dies. The last 2 victims are Cotton Weary and Sidney Prescott, and Cotton decides to take advantage of the situation to kill her, regain his fame again, and get revenge on her for getting locked up. And the idea of a victim just suddenly, at the end being like, this is the perfect opportunity to become a killer right now, is awesome.
I don't know if I'd like that though.
It's
I'm a
interesting.
really fan.
I know you're a big fan of Cotton Weary.
Yeah. He was one of my favorite characters. He was really criminally underused. One thing I do like about Scream 2 is his scenes in the film.
Yeah.
Liv Schreiber is such an amazing actor, and he wasn't like a bigger actor at the time. He was kind of picked out, but
They
he
shouldn't
just
have killed him off
really
at the beginning
that
of
was
3.
3 was a huge mistake on so many levels. They did have a lot of good actors in 3, so
Especially
it was
considering,
waste. What a waste! The waste of Lance Henriksen. My God.
there's a moment where, it's almost implied that he became friends with them afterwards, because they mentioned, oh, Cotton's dead, and he tried to call them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That would have been really interesting to see. He was really cool. Another thing, there was a rewrite for 3. It had a completely different script.
Well, that's
originally.
because didn't Kim Wilson basically have little to do with it?
It was what happened essentially.
Because they had
Was
a
I think
completely
Columbine happened, because the original idea was that someone's killing people in a high school and also going after Sydney and the originals, and you find out that Stu from the first one, Matthew Little's character, didn't die, and he's been orchestrating things from jail. The entire time he's been watching everything and attempting to get his revenge.
I like the Matthew Lillard's character. I would love to have him back.
He appears in the second, and it's almost set up because he is in the second movie. He has a cameo during a party scene.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. I've still never been able to fully pick him out. I watched that party scene over and over again. I'm like, where is he? But he's there, and
Google.
it's really
Use
cool.
Google.
Yeah. But the idea of him coming back in 3 would have been awesome. I really hope that if they go on and do 5 and 6, which I know they wanted to do,
I don't know if they will. I think they're going to
with
go
Wes Craven gone, and
and Scream,
this
the series
Scream
actually
series
being
on.
successful.
they're probably not going to. But if they did, totally use the Stu idea again. It's perfect. I know, like, the reason they did it a lot was script leaks, as well as the Columbine thing. They didn't want to have, like, deaths in a high school after that.
That and that you got a different writer.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of stuff that contributed to that just going to the win.
But let's speak about the Scream series. That it ended this week. I actually thought it was really good. When I first started watching the first episode of Scream, didn't like it very much. I liked the Bella Thorne opening. Thought that was really well done. Thought the rest of the pilot kind of went really downhill from there. Kept watching the show almost ironically at the beginning.
Yeah, I
Got
stopped.
sucked in, and I found it really good. I mean, the last few episodes were really good. Episode 7 has a really great death in it. And there was not a lot of big deaths in the show, but when things were done, they were done really impressively. And the last episode of the season really, really delivered. A lot of people got bitched about the fact that the killer was obvious. The killer was obvious because, well, congratulations, you, like many people, guessed who the killer was. But that's because they put clues throughout the series that were logical clues. And they still left a twist on there to leave it open up so that anybody could actually be the killer. Yes, it was the person that a lot of people suspected it of being, and that's because she made logical sense to be the killer in that
Also,
series.
to be honest, when you're stepping into a series like Scream, where the general basis is everybody knows the rules, it's hard to get that twist over, especially when this is like, they're clearly paying homage to almost all of the Scream movies. with
Oh
it.
my god, yes, so much.
So, like, the only one I don't see full homages to is 4, which makes sense because it's more increasing.
I did. What about the lawyer and stuff like that? There's certain aspects of it.
There are certain aspects of it.
4 is such a nihilistically brutal film that is so criminally underrated.
Yeah.
The ending of 4, like, I mean, there was so much that 4 didn't do right. There's a lot of things that 4 didn't do right, but the killer worked for me. The main killer worked for me, and that ending scene right at the end of it, just because I'm a YouTuber, it got to me because I can actually see. I'm part of that universe. If you're watching this, you're part of that whole universe of like online, 5 minutes of 15 minutes of fame type of thing, and grabbing your when you can grabbing your fame, taking your place in the world, and the way it's done now, so different from from before. You don't have to be fit. You can be infamous. You don't have to be famous. You can be infamous, and that can be even more amazing for like some people. That's a scary thought.
And, that series is probably, except for 3, one of the most, I'm not sure what word I'm looking for, is one of the most, solid feeling series, even to the TV show.
Yeah, even 3. Like, I mean, 3 is even like some of the baddest aspects that 3 has. And 3 is not as solid
3
as
has
the other
one of
ones.
the only scenes of a Scream movie that scared me as a kid.
Which one's that?
When the ghost mother appears in the window.
Oh, that's pretty creepy.
I had nightmares for freaking weeks as a kid where I was just like, man, I don't want to look out a window. I want to see that ghost girl because it freaked me out. Also, there was
Parenting done right.
there was some brief things in the series that reminded me of 3 as well. The fake.
the reason behind the killing.
The reasoning behind the killings is almost ripped from 3. The voice modular thing for the death at the beginning of the 2nd episode.
Oh, the first one too, really.
Is it the end of the 1st episode, maybe, where the girlfriend dies?
Second episode.
Okay, because you hear the staticky voice, and I'm like, that's the thing from 3. And it's interesting to see all the different things from them, because all of them had things to bring to the table, and it was a solid series. Wes Craven made a super solid series.
And here's the thing: that when you think about Wes Craven's career, he started making Last House on the Left, which was groundbreaking, game changing at the time. He went on to make he made The Hills Have Eyes, which again was incredible. He went on to make one of the worst sequels ever, Hills Have Eyes 2, which even though it was still a fun film, it's really cheesy and it's bad, and I think he knew.
what he was making. He knew exactly what he was doing when he made Hills of Ice too. Cash grab, that's what I call it. And he kept reinventing himself, reinventing the genre from The Hills Have Eyes. He did movies like, Deadly Blessings, which he was iffy on. It's one of my favorites. He reinvented, like, slashers were doing really well, but they were starting to wind down a bit. 1984 comes along, and he does Nightmare on Elm Street. There's a huge boost in the arm of slasher movies, and he'd go on for another like 4 to 5 years, like of like solid slasher popularity. He goes and he does that. He goes off and he makes movies like Serpent and the Rainbow, an excellent film. People Under the Stairs, which divides people, but I actually really like People Under the Stairs. I thought it was really comic.
I haven't seen it in years, so I can say.
Yeah, it's one that's definitely worth rewatching.
It's not on Scream
A
Channel,
Shocker, which is like a lot of people don't like, and it's really cheesy, but I do like certain aspects of that film. I thought it was fun. A Deadly Friend, which I think is also highly underrated in the way that it's done. And then he comes back and he makes the Scream series. Horror is dying out. The slasher genre is dying out. And he comes back and he breathes life into it again. He saved it in '84. He saves it again in '96. Nobody else had done that. I mean, even like John Carpenter, even the other guys, John Carpenter, Tobe Hooper, they did, John Carpenter, I'm a huge fan. I got a lot of his stuff there. But he didn't do that. He did Halloween. He did some great stuff with Halloween. He went on, he did other stuff, and he went off on other aspects, other genres. But Wes Craven literally in that genre, and this is not a guy that had to just stand the genre either. Here's a guy that made, help Meryl Streep go for another Academy Award with Music of the Heart.
But he loved it, and he did it really, really well.
So, what is your favorite non-Scream, Nightmare on Elm Street, Wes Craven film?
This doesn't count, probably, because you just said Nightmare on Elm Street. But it is. It's technically not, but it still is.
I know what you're going to say.
It's one of my favorite horror movies of all time. It's Wes Craven's New Nightmare, which is a perfect reinvention of that idea. It's his first, but this predating Scream, by the way. It's his first meta film, and it's really well done. It's I have this love for it's like the idea of horror fantasy. That's why I like 5 a lot as well, because in a way, like 5, Dream Child, 4 to some extent, but like mostly 5. Because 4 is not that good. 5 and New Nightmare, especially New Nightmare, bringing the idea of horror fantasy.
5 had a lot of issues though.
5 had like some issues, but the tone and like the visual aspects of it, it's horror fantasy, and I like that. I like the idea of mythos and a dark tone, and like almost a nursery rhyme, like child boogeyman sort of way to it.
New Nightmare just did such a great job.
It did. If there was anything I'd say about that I didn't like, was the kid was.
It was a horrible actor.
Honestly, kids in films, horror movies,
No, they're kind
it's
of
a dime a dozen when they're really good. But
he's not really good.
fucking no, he's
He's
not.
the Anakin of horror films.
He is. But the way that the story's done, there's subtle little scenes, like when she's going back to her house to save her son, and she sees the guy. What's his name again? Actor from the first movie.
John Saxon?
John Saxon. And the house is the house in the first movie. Like, it's like that. And she's like,
That is one.
and
And
she's
he calls her Nancy.
yeah, he calls her Nancy, and she's like she calls him Dad at one point, and they go on. And there's no moment to stop and be like, oh, like, whoa, what's happening? It just goes on because like it doesn't need to. You know what's happening. It's becoming the film, and it's really, really well done. I love the look.
She gets that quizzical look on her face, and she turns around, and we see that he's got the badge.
Yeah,
And it's like,
it's bleeding
Wow.
in, and it's really well done. Freddy's design
it's
is
incredible.
amazing. The glove design is also amazing. The only thing that's ever griped me is that why is his hat green? Can it be blue? Can it be the same color as his coat? Or brown again? Green is a weird color for a hat. But the makeup, the thing, the coat, and the more muscular look to him, it's really, really well done. I honestly would love to see just that version of Freddy back again. He was
Oh.
interesting, and there was so much to that. The idea that that the outside force drove the film, but the film at the same time drove the outside force.
It was amazing.
It was so good, and you can,
There's this sequence where the kid, basically, she's told the kid earlier on in the film, like, they're going home.
Yeah.
You know, that's the safe place. So he goes in the road, and we get this like huge, like, gigantic, like Freddy type, like puppeteering type character with all these other Freddys, and it is such a well done scene. There's like everything about that scene is just timed so perfectly.
absolutely.
I just love that sequence of it.
There's that film is excellent. I love the.
That's your favorite non-Nightmare on Elm Street?
It technically
It
is.
technically isn't.
And like as I said, I know I've already said this, but I love horror fantasy. There's just something.
Have you seen Superman Rainbow?
But no,
You really, really should.
yeah, I probably should. Like, I love how the end of that film is also very much Hansel and Gretel.
Well, it started within the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
She's
In
a-
the furnace, with the stuff. It's really well done.
But you gotta wonder, gee, I wonder why the kid is so messed up. She's reading him the stories, like she's actually reading him the Grimm's fairy tales. And read
Oh
the
yeah,
horrible stuff. You know, you want to see her like just reading like Little Mermaid, and then the Little Mermaid drowned. But you know, I
Yeah.
love that. My favorite.
I also
is,
like the fact that like it's left up to interpretate like until we get to the Wes Craven parts because he plays a part in that movie. It's really nice. We like it's left ambiguous as if Freddy's really there or if like she is going crazy again because it plays on real life things like her stalker.
She had a real stalker in real life, and it wasn't from Nightmare on Elm Street that the stalker came from. She was actually doing a TV series. It was a spin-off of a series called Growing Pains with Crazy Kirk Cameron, and basically Coach Lubbock was on that series, had a family, and it was called Just the Ten of Us. And she gained a stalker from the series Just the Ten of Us, and it was like a horrifying experience for her.
Yeah, and they use it really well in the series or in the movie. And
What a really weird using Just the Ten of Us, man.
yeah, but it's used very well in the movie. And there's a scene during an earthquake, though Freddy does pop up in the scene, where like there's an earthquake where she lives because it's like, I think it's like Los Angeles or something like that.
Yeah.
And they do have earthquakes there, and the way that the house is splitting is the claws.
marks.
And you're left to think for a minute, like, is that
Is that a
It's it.
Freddy thing?
is that him? It's him. And he does pop out afterwards, but it's still because of how meta the film is. It leaves you in a place where it could be hallucinations.
Even at the end of it, like this is the Babadook thing I would say. Even at the end of the movie, you know, we've seen her fight Freddy and all this stuff, and everything's good. But it's still bad stuff happened to this girl. Well, what if that wasn't? What if it was all in her head? It could still all be in her head.
It's
There's
true.
there's nothing that actually out and out says, okay, this is it. This is real. This is a demon. He's come back.
Especially considering like right before is the scene like we just mentioned where she calls him dad.
Like the
And
only
he calls her Nancy.
and the only scene that really references that at this movie is when she talks to Robert Englund on the phone. He
Yeah.
actually mentions, he kind of alludes to the fact that he might be having some dreams, some
Yeah.
things too, kind of like Glenn
He-
does in the
he-
original.
Oh no, that scene! I remember exactly that scene. It's fucking brilliant. He doesn't say anything. She asks him if he's been feeling weird, and he doesn't mention anything. But it's established that he likes to paint in his off time, and you see he's painted this freaky picture of I think it's like Freddy in the fire,
Yeah.
with his hand out, and it's established he has.
Exactly. that's
He's
the-
getting it too. Anyone connected with the film is getting the vibes.
You can even see like with Wes Craven. And Wes Craven's a very good actor in the sequence.
He absolutely is.
He just talks the way that Wes Craven does talk. Though you want to see Wes Craven. Side note: Wes Craven great cameo. Go watch Body Bags. Remember?
That is awesome.
But it was just so well done. I would like for us to sometime do a review of each of the revisit the Nightmare on Elm Street movies.
Absolutely.
Watch them and review them. So that's that's the future thing, right? You want to see that, guys? We will do the
You're going
entire
to hear a lot of me
Nightmare
gushing again when it comes to
Yeah.
New Nightmare.
Yeah, but then you're going to see a lot of other stuff that's come to some of the other films.
Yeah.
Trust me, Freddy's dead. That's going to be in the industry.
There is no, like, unlike when me and Dad on the Cathode Ray debated which was the worst Friday the 13th film. I say it's 9, he says it's Freddy vs. Jason. I think it's always going to be 9 because that film has random mysticism and it's stupid.
But man, you get like Ronnie's burgers and stuff.
It's
Wow.
just terrible. That's a terrible, terrible.
Ryan's in it from Friday 13th series. Come on.
It's terrible. It is absolutely terrible. And until like a
At
couple
least
years
Jason
later,
is in it. Is it for
as a demon,
now?
as a weird mouth transferring
Jason is
demon.
in it. He's in it at the beginning.
Barely.
Before, like that. He's in it as like
Listen,
as Kane
listen
Hodder,
to this
and
synopsis.
he's in it at the end of it.
All right,
He bookends.
listen to the synopsis. You think Freddy vs. Jason's the worst? Think of the synopsis for Freddy vs. Jason. Jason comes back to life again and is manipulated by Freddy to regain his fame, and it's stupid. I know it's so stupid.
It's
But,
not
like,
Jason. It's not
Jason,
Jason.
the hulking, the walks like a freaking shark, apex predator. Jason,
I'm scared of water.
that's stupid. But like, goes in with the machete, kills people like he always does. Now let me give you the plot synopsis of 9. After being blown up, the demonic powers of the demon Jason makes a coroner eat his heart so that he can become a demon in his gut, talk in other people's bodies, and try and transfer his soul into the baby
Better
of
actor
a
than
family
Mark Hamill.
member. Jason has a body-snatching plot. Jason should never have a plot in general, let alone one where he's a body-snatching demon. The cover is a demon who is a demon, coming out of his own randomly chrome
Did
mask.
that not kind of remind you of like the whole Part 6 James Demon thing?
Yeah, they did. It's weird.
It's not a good movie, but I still hate.
Also,
Freddy
even
vs. Jason.
still, Part 9 sets up for the one you think is the worst.
Yeah.
Ha
That is horrible. And neither one of them are good. I still don't like Freddy vs. Jason. I think they did a horrible job of representing Freddy. Don't get a director that hasn't seen either one of the series to make the film. He's not going to do a good job.
I think 9
But here's
is
the
worse
thing,
than-
and this is why both 9 and Jason vs. Freddy both fail. Because the character of Jason does not die in Part 1. He does not die. That what she sees coming up from there, that's pretty much an hallucination.
Yeah.
That's pretty much a given. But
He's
that
in the
may be
woods.
because, who knows, maybe she is seeing a more adult-looking Jason on the other side. We don't know. And maybe that, in her mind she hallucinates. But Jason doesn't drown. Jason makes his way across. Jason doesn't die. He does not officially die until Part 4. We have the whole Human Jason saga, which goes from 1 to 4. We have the Tommy Jarvis saga, which goes from 4 to 6. 4 and 5, as Tommy, pretty much as in the Tommy Jarvis character and Part 6, which is also a very good, very commercial film, but it ruins the series in another way. It brings on the zombie Jason era.
Yeah.
And it brings on a Tommy that bears little to no resemblance to the character of Tommy at all.
Yeah,
It
sure.
brings in the great actor, Don Matthews, who was in Return of the Living Dead and Return of the Living Dead 2, but it just throws Tommy Jarvis out the window. That being said, I enjoyed the hell out of Part 6. It's a fun film, but it totally messes up Friday the 13th.
6 to 8 would be the zombie saga.
Well, from on, it's a zombie saga.
9 is
No.
a demon thing.
9,
and then we get Freddy
9
vs.
is New
Jason,
Line.
which is
It's
a...
a whole New Line saga. New Line saga is like pretty much like, look, we did Nightmare on Elm Street. We respect Nightmare on Elm Street. We got Jason. Now, pull his pants down, bend him over. This is what we're gonna do to Jason.
I love Jason X, might I just add. That movie's fun.
It's it's okay. He just wants his machete back.
That movie is so fun. I know some people don't like it, and it's not a good movie,
No.
but it is so it's not trying to be.
Well, originally it was a placeholder for Freddy vs. Jason. And, they do a good job. It's filmed in Ontario.
And
And
you
it's
can
just
tell, Andromeda, yeah, pretty much the guys from
Let's
Andromeda.
have some premarital sex. That scene is hilarious.
That is one of the best scenes.
It's such a fun tongue-in-cheek movie. And sometimes, it's good to have, like, a tongue-in-cheek one of those movies. Because, it's good. It's good to throw it on its ass. Even, like freaking Leprechaun in Space. Stupid, silly movie, but, like, that...
I am no longer Mitten Hans. I am Mitten Spider. I don't know why I did that in an Arnold Schwarzenegger type accent. I just did.
But, like, with Jason, it just works fun. Like, it works so well because, the plot of Jason X, not unreasonable. Not unreasonable. He is a super soldier sort of thing.
Best
he is
cameo ever,
unkillable.
David Cronenberg.
He is an unkillable beast. The idea of him being taken by the government makes sense. I mean, but like the way it's played is so fun and tongue in cheek and stuff like that.
So, that being said, what do you think? There's a new Jason movie, Friday the 13th movie coming out. Rebooting it again.
Yeah,
It's now a
until I
sequel.
know anything about it.
And there's a TV series.
That one's a bit weird.
I don't know if we thought the same thing with Scream. That turned out okay.
But like with Scream, I was always like, well, this isn't hard to do. Go ahead. But with I don't know what they're gonna call it. I'm gonna go with Crystal Lake Chronicles, considering that's what the name that Sean Cunningham had for his original one. Apparently, the premise, if you probably read the premise, but the premise is in the series' universe, the movies happened.
As movies?
Yeah, they happened as movies because there was a killer named Jason in their town at some time.
So it's meta.
Yes, he existed. There's a lot of the older people know who he was and are terrified of the idea of him. The younger people know him from the movies. Think of him as the movie one. Their town has been sort of reveling in the merchandise / fame of it for a while, but someone's killing again. Nobody knows if it's Jason still alive or a copycat, and they want to cover it up as much as possible. And the series is about learning what the real story of Jason is.
That's interesting. Oh, actually, that's interesting. Do
It's
you remember the Eric Morris books that came out? Those Mother's Day, and they had a few Friday the 13th books that came out.
yeah,
And they talked about in it, the concept was that the mask itself was actually kind of evil, was almost kind of possessed. The people that would actually wear the hockey mask type thing.
yeah.
That was a really interesting concept. I remember I had those books and I had the Halloween books. They were both very good series, and they're kind of young adult. And I gave them away at one point, and I kicked myself. I kicked myself for that. Oh no, I can't take it anymore. But before we go off, we've done this for 2 hours now.
Yeah.
Hope you guys enjoyed this, by the way, and because we can do more. We have been thinking about doing a podcast. We'll structure it a little bit more because we did not plan to do this as a podcast. So consider this our pilot episode
Yeah.
for an actual podcast. We actually can bring other people in as well. Maybe we can stream sometimes to do it.
Absolutely.
Because I've been on a few streams recently. I saw from Cathedral. I did one with a Falligar and a bunch of guys. The DVD was there.
Oh.
Lolo's Basement showed up. There's Ricky. There's a bunch of guys there. We had Lauren, Brandon, Skin Tip, Chris showed up. It was just a lot of fun. Dornstar, I gotta get it right.
A lot of people.
Yeah,
It's
it was
a fucking party over here.
a YouTube party. But Halloween is not that far away. We
It
are
is not
Halloween
at all.
freaks, so we should be. Are you planning any big things? Me, I'm looking at the movies that I'm going to be buying right now for Halloween. You've already seen, guys. I got House of Wax 3D. What do you think of 3D in?
God, the 3D was awesome.
I love the 3D in that film. When there was some motion scenes, it was and I'm wearing glasses too, so it's a little bit harder for me. 3D wise, there was a little bit of blur, nothing that would
really.
actually take me out of the film. But there was some decent 3D, a lot of good depth in there.
Yeah.
Really recommend it if you got a 3D television set. House of Wax 3D, pick it up. I'm going to be looking to pick up some horror. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Uh, along the way, over the next, starting in late September, October, we're going to be grabbing some more stuff. You're going to be grabbing anything? Is there anything that's on your radar to get for Halloween for watching?
I don't know. I gotta.
Time
gotta
to come
think
to my
about
house
it.
and pick up stuff.
Yeah, definitely doing that.
Yeah. Dad, can I have a loan of this?
Yeah. I'm. I don't know. I'm gonna pick out a costume, obviously, for our stuff. Because it's Halloween, you can't not.
You and your friend should go as Hansel and Gretel. His friend
We got
Charles.
kicked out of the mall last year, actually.
You got kicked out?
Yeah, because I was wearing my Riddler costume, but Charles was wearing a Jeff the Killer costume, this creepypasta thing, and it requires face paint, and they were just like, no, you gotta go. And we were like, oh, we just like, looked at some stuff, and he's like, they're like, no, your face is covered technically, you gotta go. And we laughed, and we were like,
I want the costume, the one I want so bad.
Yeah.
It's expensive though, but it's like the suit with the TV, the signal, like that.
I'm totally gonna pick up that the comic book one with the like
piles.
yeah
Yeah.
different on my page.
We were at Spirit of Halloween. As you guys know, I bought there. I got 3. Oh, Matt, just so you can see comics.
Oh,
I
so you got
from
one of
Spirit
them?
Halloween. Yeah, you were there, remember?
Oh, I didn't know you picked it up then.
Something Wicked.
Okay.
So, guys that didn't see that video, that's really got some great artwork in
Okay. Very interesting.
here.
Who does he have for that?
Yeah, it is Jerry Beck actually.
Oh, okay.
He's a very famous artist actually.
Say look for him.
Midnight Pulp, Secret Skull,
Interesting.
pretty cool stuff. We've got Steve Niles. An issue of The Darkness,
Okay.
early issue too, and of course Topps Dracula Vlad the Impaler with 3 cards. Still back.
Oh, wow.
So these still, I think.
I should have picked one of those up
You
today.
should pick up the one D with this one here. 'Cause you get the Topps cards, and I love the Topps ones.
That is
I'm
really cool.
Trying to keep this closed up.
Uh,
But yeah,
Yeah.
check out your Spirit of Halloween, guys. Get into the Spirit of Halloween by checking out Spirit of Halloween. See what I did there? See how I did that?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking into to the Arrow sale right now. Hopefully, I'm hoping to be able to pick at least something up from that.
When does the Crimson set come out? It's Crimson Box.
Crimson set is coming out in October, but it will probably it reaches probably around November-ish around here. But it's going to be a nice set.
It
It's
will be.
worth picking up. You got to get yourself ready for Region 3 player, by the way.
Yeah.
Because there's in Arrows, you have the big sale again going on until 13th. Yeah, guys, Arrow has a sale going on. We had planned to originally do a video about the Arrow sale.
He talked about it in the last video.
And yeah, I actually talked about it, said we'll talk about the Arrow things. So there's a few that are coming out that I'm looking at right now. You got the Hammer film, Hound of the Baskervilles, Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing, and Andrew Morel. I want to own that one. There's a House of People Under the Stairs, actually. Arrow put that out too. I know Scream Factory got a version of it. And I think Toddy Walnuts, so if you haven't seen his stuff, you really should. We'll watch one of his comparison videos before I go to bed. He does the comparison videos on Arrow video versus Scream Factory editions.
Okay.
So I got to see if he's done the People on the Stairs yet. I got to check that because I really want to get that Arrow edition of People on the Stairs because he usually do a better print and all that. Because their version of Thief just blew Criterion to the water.
Mm.
Thief's another one that's interesting. But it's a few there. Coffee, Pam Grier, and Contamination with Joe Cozy. It's very much like it's an original Italian horror film. But like they go and they find these like kind of alien eggs, like a bunch of alien eggs. Dude, it's totally
Sounds super original.
Yeah, it is totally original. And it's a fun film. It really is worth picking up, guys. And when you buy movies from the Arrow sale, you get points that you can use towards other Arrow films. So you can accumulate points. So if you have a decent order, you can actually get yourself a free movie or two. Now, if you order movies that are not on the sale, that are not listed in the sale, say you wanted to get the Crimson Box, say you want to pick up Deep Red, the new version edition that's coming out, say you want to pick up like the Black Cat set or anything like that, or maybe you want to get the Yakuza set they got coming out. Well, you get, because this is a sale and there's points on like from the sale, those, if you go and buy the one that's on full price, you get double points.
It's really good.
So yeah, so you can actually go out, end up like buying a set or something like that, and you're getting double points and coming back and then bam, you got enough points to get like another movie or two. I'm hoping to get enough points to probably go into slashers like Blood Rage or Mutilate or something like that, to go with like some stuff that I've already got coming out. Or Madman. He did a Madman as well.
Okay.
Madman.
Remember when this was a Samurai Cop review?
Yeah. Wow. Remember all the ways back? Remember when we started this review? The Samurai Cop thing
Oh
going on?
man, that was.
Remember when you did a stinger
I
an
did a
hour and
stinger.
a half ago?
I did a stinger an hour and a half ago. You're not getting another stinger. There's nothing we can sting for this. I can't sting a podcast.
Anything else you want to bring up?
No, I think we're good for now. Like, we're not
2-hour podcast.
a 2-hour podcast. We'll be moving to like closer to October. I'm sure there'll be more to talk about.
And we're definitely, we should come on. We're going to be talking about some of the releases that are coming out. I know that Nail Gun Massacre is coming out.
Yeah.
Nail Gun
Oh,
Massacre!
I saw the trailer for that.
I got a pre-order, by the way, guys. I did.
Of course you do.
Yeah, we'll do like, maybe we'll talk about like movies, essential movies for Halloween that
Yeah.
people should watch.
It's true.
That'll be good. Maybe we can do our top like horror films as well. Get into
Yeah.
that. I know that recently there's been a bunch of people that have been doing the top 50 horror and like doing in 10 yeah.
Seems a bit early for that.
A
Don't
few
you think?
people have been doing it.
It's a bit early. We're not even like we just entered September.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna be, of course, my channel will be Halloween based in October. Usually, what I do, and just to like kind of paraphrase the Nostalgia Critic when he kind of says, this is my top 11 because I like to go one step further. Is basically that I'll usually like the week before Halloween, I'll like do my pre-Halloween start up when my channel starts going completely horror, and I start watching horror movies, and I'm like, okay, people watching horror movies all throughout Halloween, I'm going to start a week before, and I'm going to go on through there. I did it last year, did it pretty well, fairly successfully. I did reviews, I did collection updates, I did all kinds of stuff, and I want to go even farther with that this year and do some really great stuff. We should podcast some stuff, stream some stuff, get some people in there, and like really get talking about like Halloween. I would like to get talking about like Halloween, like the TV shows, movies, with comics. So let's get into the comic aspect of Halloween, and I don't mean by like Chris Rock. I mean like actual like comic books. So it's keep reading your Puppet Master stuff like that.
Absolutely.
We should do some reviews on some of those as well. Talk about the comics that we're looking forward to. Get into some horror comics as well.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of stuff to look forward to, guys. So keep watching. We'll hopefully, inshallah, we're going to keep doing these podcasts.
Yeah.
And as frequently as like we can get him over here in between work and like school coming up for him.